Oh shit, we're on YouTube, huh? Fuck, let me go on there right quick. I forgot about that.
Uh,
Well, you know what? Like right now, I feel like everything's just deja vu. It's like I feel like I've had these conversations before. So talking about David Bingham, talking about Ethan Zubak, talking about the Curing Galaxy, talking about Daniel Steres. I feel like I've talked about all this stuff before. To me, I'm pretty sure it's deja vu for me. So let me go on YouTube just to make sure that this is today, this is live. Like this is going down right now.
You're getting Truman showed, bro.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Can you guys hear Angel though? That's all that really matters.
Fucking Rudy, you're acting like me yesterday, bro.
Look, Eddie comes on the podcast and we can't hear somebody. What kind of bullshit is that?
Yo,
He's
there
trying
you
to
go.
sabotage our podcast.
Should be
It's me,
fixed.
bro.
Emmanuel or chat, let me know. Let me know if that fixed it. But yeah, George got a
Hit the like button
makeover.
though.
Yeah, hit that like button one time.
Well,
What
no,
up,
George
Chewy?
took off his glasses and this is what you get.
Jeez.
They go, George.
Never mind.
Hey, Sunglass George is back. Sunglass George is back. Let's
He's
go.
gonna come on here to lie to you guys.
Damn, pura
Damn.
paja, loco.
I'll do my best.
You ain't playing. I like it. I like
Just
it.
tell us that Chicharito's the truth. The way he told you that in your podcast, he made you believe it.
I mean,
You can be convinced sometimes.
yeah.
You can be convinced sometimes.
Hey, he's good at what he does, bro.
Listen,
Not blame-
I guess because I've known him for a long ass time.
hey man.
You know what's funny? He's like, he's your Spenny, and they're on the same side, bro. And
Oh, that he's our Spenny?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said. I can fucks with that. I can fucks with that. Yeah, I can fucks with that. I think that's accurate. I think that's accurate, boys.
should put him on a midweek show, just them two. Let's see how that goes.
Well, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be interested in watching.
But it has to be something to disagree. It can't be
There
something
is-
to agree. Huh?
There is.
No, because then they'll just talk about how we don't know shit. So it'd be funny.
Actually, that you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
and then then the stupid gullible people are gonna fall for all this shit and believe everything. People like Eddie, people like Brian, people over Nag News.
Sheesh.
So just
Damn.
that's what it's gonna be
Sheesh.
like.
What,
And they're
what,
gonna have people that
what
me
happened?
that don't believe none of that shit. There's like, no, these people are fucking stupid. They don't know shit.
Eddie,
Guys,
Eddie, Eddie said the sad part is I only heard Angel.
It's because I'm not singing to him. That's why.
There you go.
I don't want to hear that shit.
Francisco,
please.
you listen.
Oh, what you mean, Masa? We're driving together to Palm Springs, so you about to hear me sing the whole way up, baby.
Joke's on you, though. I ain't even gonna go.
Ooh,
Psych, psych. You have to go. You cannot not go.
Bet.
Yeah,
Bet, dog, I'll pick
it's
your ass
mandatory.
up, dog.
I'm already picking you up too.
I'm gonna be at work.
I'll pick you up from work. I know
Pick
where
you
you
up
work.
at
Yeah, don't you? You going, dog? We all going.
You know what? I'll do what I did a couple times at DJ parties that I hated that didn't want to be there. I'll just call the cops on you guys and say that there's some illegal activity going on and just shut you guys down for the rest of the day.
Oh, that's
I wouldn't
fucking
mind that,
hilarious.
to be honest.
That's hilarious. Francisco, F1 this weekend is gonna be amazing, and we're gonna be together with the boys watching that shit. It's gonna be fucking
Hell yeah.
tight, dog. I'm
Most
so
of them will wake
hyped, dog. I'll listen. I'll wake everybody up. We're watching that. What up, Chris? What up, Chris? Dog, we're
I'm
about to hit you
fucked
up.
You watching that, Angel?
Agent, why you
didn't
mad
get
at
into it,
me?
dog.
Yeah, you gotta
You
wake
didn't
up.
get-
Yeah,
you
you
didn't
waking
get
up.
for
into it.
that.
You waking up for that, dog.
Nope.
Dog, you would wake up for Trash House Arsenal and not wake
Or-
up for
It's
F1.
different though. I like being put through misery.
Don't worry about it, guys. I was just in Palm Springs.
Well then,
So fucking
then,
hot because the heat is gonna wake you up, bro.
then follow
Yeah?
Williams Racing, fool. You'll wake up for something miserable too.
Oh man, yeah. The Hungarian Grand Prix. Listen, Hungarian Grand Prix was a little disappointing because Hamilton got off to such a good start that the race is over at that point.
But
the
that's
midfield is dope.
disappointing though, dog.
Yeah, it is. It is because I want to see somebody fucking push him. I want to see
Nobody-
Max be pushing him. I get
nobody
it. No,
has
listen, I get
a
it.
car, and no one is as good a driver as
I
Hamilton, dog.
100% agree with you. I still want to see somebody challenge him. I want Hamilton to get like a bad start and it's a challenge at least through fucking like 20 laps, right? But after
Dog,
the third lap
look
goes
at,
over,
what was his name? Was it Bottas?
Bottas,
Bad
yeah.
start, and if still ended up
Yeah, it's
in
because the Mercedes
podium,
is
dog.
stupid.
Come on,
yeah.
bro.
Angel, what happened to the blonde hair? Chad is asking what happened to the blonde hair.
It's under his.
I'm
hat.
hiding him. I'm hiding my cat.
Yeah,
Chill.
yeah.
But look, I'm letting this all grow back out again.
Seen that.
So-
I've seen that.
I'm letting all my hair grow. You see my butt too.
Ooh,
Nice and furry. Mm-hmm.
Stupid ass Nelson. I'm not even gonna repeat that. I'm not even.
Is
gonna
that the
repeat
fool that got his cooler broken? Yeah, it was.
Me,
I'd say ripped because broken, you can fix something that's broken.
This is styrofoam, so it's ripped.
Yeah, so it ripped. Yeah, so it's that fool that got his cooler ripped.
Who fucking what is it? Fashion Nova Punk. Brian says he liked the shirt.
Hey, thank you. Hell yeah. Hey, never mind. I guess I'm not gonna go there.
Brian,
I'm not
stop,
gonna go
stop hyping up this fake ass rockero, dog.
Right? Hey, you a rocker fool?
Hey, you a rocker poop?
You don't have to air for it, bro.
All right, Chad. We got about 7 minutes before we kick off the show. Most of you guys know the deal. Kind of hang out, talk about anything but the Galaxy. 15 minutes before show starts, and then
This
And
is
then-
a
and then we get
F1
depressing.
F1 show. 15 minutes of F1 pre-show, and then we talk about
Eddie,
irrelevant stuff.
que le pongas duct tape al cooler. Duct tape. Mhm.
We did. You guys don't remember? With the
Oh, you did? Did you guys even have a? What did you guys do for it
No.
after?
I took it to a game. Everything.
That's not like that. Yeah, I remember. It was like this whole thing. This shit's funny. Oh, rest in peace.
And then it died again in my car.
That's funny.
Jeez, man. Like I don't know, bro. Like I don't foresee them seeing. And I'm talking Francisco. He's asking about Ferrari. I don't see him doing anything this season, bro.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up for fucking for Beto. I feel bad for him because I wish he would have competed this season, especially since he's not gonna be with Ferrari next year. But I don't know, man. I don't think that's happening. Eddie, you ever watch F1?
Nah, man.
No?
I hear you guys talk about it every week before, and I'm like, I'm gonna get into it. And
No, just watch the Netflix series.
yeah, check-
if
check
that doesn't get you into it,
Then
then you're not gonna
yeah.
like it. I mean, that should put me on game.
Same. I got hooked. I was hooked.
Y'all late, man. I'm telling you. Lightning McQueen versus Francesco Bernoulli. That's where it's at, man. That's where it's at. Yeah.
That
Oh
shit is cool
man.
too. Cars
That
is
shit,
legit.
yeah, that shit's dope as fuck. People
Oh,
don't believe me.
That's hilarious.
Cars is legit.
And for the record, Lightning McQueen actually won in Italy. So an American has actually won in Italy.
It was a big feat.
Yeah, big feat. But then the before that, Francesco Bernoulli came over here and he won his race here in the States. So it was like revenge. We sent the Americans over there. Lightning McQueen did his thing, but we don't know. Like the race got canceled because some shit happened. I don't know exactly what happened with the race, but yeah, the World Grand Prix ultimately ended up getting stopped. But it was crazy. We got to see Francesco Bernoulli have one victory and Lightning McQueen have one victory. So it's good for the average viewer like myself.
I the average viewer like myself. You're so stupid because if I had no idea what the fuck you're talking about, I'd be like, oh, this was talking about some real shit. You're
That is some real
dumb.
shit, dog. Lightning
You're
McQueen.
dumb,
Ka-chow.
dumb. You're dumb, man. You're hilarious. All right, let's check it in the chat.
Oh, nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna put on some stupid ass glasses. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. God, I'm like a fucking eagle. 2020 vision. I don't need that shit.
Motherfucker joins the Air Force One. Son. I hope you lose your eyesight, bitch.
Damn,
Exactly,
it's
dog.
crazy because don't tell me that apparently a lot of that's one of the things that my recruiter did tell me. That people don't realize that they're colorblind or that they have some type of issue because it's not as common,
Yeah.
right? To go get your eyes checked as it is other stuff. So they get a lot of people turned back. And certainly shut down in terms of not getting in, but then they have to go. Their whole thing gets extended because then they have to go see a specialist to make sure that they're okay. If they are colorblind, then there's a lot of jobs you can't do. You can still go in, but then so much. So Masa, don't even put that shit on me, dog.
Just got a flirt with the shirt, bro. You never seen Saving Private Ryan?
Oh, I did.
I mean, Pearl Harbor. Why did I say
I was gonna say what that. Yeah, I seen Pearl Harbor though.
Saving
Saying I
Private
need me my Nicole Kidman.
Go. See?
Is
There you
that,
go.
that's what you took from that. That's what you took from that. That you needed.
Yeah, out of everything, I need me a Nicole Kidman. Yeah, so she can just pass me. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh man. Dope,
But yeah, man, I'm telling you, check that out. Cars 2. That's where it's at.
Hey Eddie, yo,
Yes.
thanks for having me on layman's terms yesterday. That shit was fun.
Oh,
That
yeah,
shit
Oh,
was
when
sad,
does the
bro.
pod go live? Well, not live, but when is it on the
on
podcast? It's on already.
everywhere already. Yeah, man.
All right, I'm gonna
like
check
I
it out tomorrow during my workout.
Yeah, you guys
Where's it at?
chat should check it out, dude. Because honestly, if you know Rudy, like I kind of know Rudy, but I didn't know that much, dude. And it was dope, man. It was one of
Doug,
Oh, so he used to sell drugs, and it's kind of like these rappers
No,
that
no, no.
become
No.
rappers after selling drugs and stuff like that. It's the same
We
type of thing?
started
does-
way
he
after that.
does-
We started way after that.
Oh, so you didn't talk about his Chex
No,
career?
no.
Oh, you didn't talk about Chex? Oh,
Well, I
then you
briefly
don't know
touched
him
on
at
it. I briefly touched on it, and then I moved on.
Nunca pensé. Oof. Fire. Fire.
Listen,
Hey, Rudy, hit the chat one time with one of your sick ass verses from when you used to be a rapper.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Nah, do it. Come on,
Nah,
one time.
It was hilarious because because that's how it started, right? It started because I started doing I started coding because of music because I was producing, right?
Mhm.
But I touched on it just briefly and I moved on. I was like, I'm not going into that. I'm not. No, like
I
I'm
can
not doing
confirm that I saw Rudy perform at BB King's in
Yep.
City Walk.
What's up?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was there for that.
Yep.
The only person that showed up for that.
Psych,
Nah,
dog.
chill.
We sold
Nah,
that shit
those are
out. What you
people
mean,
there.
dog?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
sold that shit out. 180 tickets. Believe that, dog. Believe that. That shit was
180
there.
tickets.
Hey, listen. I'm not saying that I was big time or anything like that, but we sold it out for 180 tickets.
The only real homie.
Damn.
I was
Yeah.
there, dog. I was
Invited
there.
all of the high school girls from was it Belmont, right?
Nah. I was already 20.
Nah,
20.
I was in high
Yeah,
school.
come on,
No.
Rudy, spit some bars though. Everybody they want to see,
not
they want to hear your
happening.
bars. Nunca
Nah, that-
pensé. Just
Dog.
Google Chanks with 3 X's and then Nunca pensé. Guaranteed you're gonna find Rudy rapping. Actually, let me see if I can find that shit right now.
Oh, you're a fucking dick. You got 3 minutes to find the shit.
Yeah, dog. I heard the pod and it just reminded me of the conversations I would have with Rudy, dog. That's what motivated me to be better, dog. So shout out Rudy, dog. Always my idol, dog.
It's the homies, dog. I have to look out for the homies. I have to look out for the homies. But no, on some serious shit though, that show was fun. That show was mad fun. I appreciate you having me.
Hey.
All right. Hey, lift it up a little. Lift it up a little bit. Lift it up a little bit. There you go.
Damn, you actually found it?
Yeah.
Let me go look for it too. I'm about to download this, play this on my way to work.
Oh man.
Damn,
It's
Rudy
so
with them
dope.
bars. Nunca pensé que estuviese contigo.
Say it.
Sheesh.
Where did you find that?
That's just getting off.
Oh, damn, I'm horny as fuck right now.
Yeah, that was a young me. That was a young me doing music. I didn't think we were going there today. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, I mean, how are you gonna be on Layman's World and not talk about that?
because we were talking about my career, not my
Not that. Oh, I thought you were talking about your music career. Never mind.
No,
I don't want to watch that shit. I don't want to hear that shit anymore. The fuck?
You're so dumb. I appreciate you.
I found it.
What is it? It's Beyond the Music, right? MTV used to be called Beyond the Music or whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be that shit, dog. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Behind the music.
Oh, Behind the Music. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I
fuck
can
yeah.
confirm
no.
there's a MTV Cribs episode of Rudy.
For anybody interested, I just dropped the link.
He's like
for,
Ja Rule. He paid. He just rented out a house for a second. Said, "That's my crib. Welcome to my crib."
For anybody interested,
He went to
on-
Enterprise and just like rented a couple Mercedes Benz and just parked them in the front.
Nah, man, I never had to front. For anybody interested, I just posted the link for Layman's World's episode on the chat. So
Hey,
you guys
that's how you got Anna, huh? She said that's why she fell in love
I
with
can
you.
confirm Anna was there.
Man,
Anna's like,
I'm
"Oh my
not-
god, Rudy, singing that to me."
Oh, you're stupid. All right, man, we're gonna get ready to start the show. I can't deal
Ooh,
with
they're
y'all no
saying a
more.
Villa Wando diss track. If you listen, if you drop a Shay Salinas diss track, I'll be on that shit.
You be on the shit though? You got some bars for me?
I'll be on that shit. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Conejo
My
Malo?
debut and
Conejo
my
Malo,
last.
though?
David Bingham diss.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Everybody gets it? All right,
Yeah,
boys,
fuck yeah, everybody. Legit. We'll even get Slaughter on that shit too. Just to drop some bars on Legit right quick.
all right, boys. Here we go. Yo, what up? And welcome to another episode of Straight from the Stands, an unapologetic, unofficial LA Galaxy podcast, hosted by 4 Mile supporters who bring you their thoughts and views on everything related to LA Galaxy, straight from the stands. I am your co-host Smarts, alongside the always angry Angel, his counterpart level-headed George, and the man with the facts. Good evening. How's
What
it going,
up?
fellas?
What's
Good
up?
evening.
Yo, as you, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say how you doing, George?
Yeah, I was saying, George got a new look,
Yeah, you got
hanging out with his homie.
Mm-hmm.
Here to tell you about how Zuba great is.
The other way, the other side, yeah, the other side there.
Yo, no, reality though, Eddie from Nag News, welcome to the show. Thanks for hopping in last minute. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I feel like I finally made it. I'm gonna
I
Yo,
mean, I
man.
told you that a long time ago when you had me on the podcast that it's like bringing a celebrity over, but it is what it is.
But the only
No.
reason I had you there is to make it here, so I guess it worked.
Oh, is that what it is? So it worked out. Like, hey, yeah.
It's something like I hit you up a few times, and I know we just haven't been able to link up in the right schedule for you to be on the show. But I'm glad that it finally worked out today. So thank you for hopping on. How you doing?
Yeah, good man. All it took is a pandemic to get me on here, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
can you
Right.
give yourself some volume though?
Could I? Am I low? Really?
Yeah, you're low as fuck. Fake ass George.
Oh, my bad.
There you go.
Closer there. That better?
That's better. Yeah.
All right, cool. My bad. Sorry. I was trying to get my. I'm not loud enough to be.
Remember,
George.
for this is a professional podcast. You gotta
Yeah,
step
get
your
your
game
shit
up.
together. Yeah,
man.
what the hell is this?
You gotta stop it.
Uh,
How you feeling though? How you doing today? You good?
yeah, man. I'm chilling, dude. A little worn out from podcasting, but here I am again.
Yeah. What you do? Two podcasts history, right? I know we went for like an hour and 40, and I know Nagny's went for a minute too. So yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Angel,
Yo,
how come you didn't let your blonde, locks
Oh, I
out
have it
today?
on. It's
I know,
just-
I know you do, but why
Yeah,
didn't you let
it's
him out?
'cause-
Like the chat was asking for it.
no, I have to keep growing out my hair a little bit, and the way that the room is set up, it's like
Mm.
plants. Like when people who grow weed and stuff. I imagine when they keep the stuff, they have to have certain temperature and certain coverage and stuff like that. Or like people that just grow regular ass plants inside. That's exactly what I'm doing with my hair.
No, let's
like,
stick with weed.
you know.
I like that. I like that analogy first. So let's stick
All right,
with
listen,
that.
I can't say anything drug related that might incriminate me down the line, right? So, just I'm alluding to what I've seen in the movies.
Yeah,
I've seen quite
yeah.
a few movies. So that's what I'm doing with my hair. I got the idea. So right now I have it wrapped and covered, so you guys can't see my blonde hair right now, but it's there. It's there.
Dope. And Masa, you out here with the uncut gems glasses. I fucks with those heavy though. Those are nice, bro.
Thank you.
I told you
baby.
off air, but I like them. Those are nice. How you doing?
Thank you, baby. I'm good, man. Busy
Yeah.
at work.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's cool. Countdown. A few more days before we
Rudy,
take a
how you
little
doing,
break.
Rudy?
I'm good, man. I'm not complaining. I didn't sleep last night, but I slept all day, so it's all good.
Damn.
Why?
I don't know. It's like this fucking like I don't know. Like I just couldn't sleep last night, and I didn't sleep until like 10 a.m. this morning. So it's fucking weird. I don't know. But I'm awake now, and we're here. And I was trying to prolong this as much as I could, so we didn't have to talk about the galaxy. But I mean, I ran out of things to say, so I guess we do have to talk
Hey,
about it.
Nelson, just want to say one thing. You can at the Air Force all you want, but we just stay high, baby. We fly high, so they're okay with all that. Yeah.
All right, boys, we're here to talk about the LA Galaxy, and it's again, like Angel was saying when we started the show in the pre-show. It's like a broken record. We see this. What we're gonna talk about today, we talked about in the last episode and the one previous to that, and I think the one previous to that, and maybe the one before that as well. Like it just is a common thing for the Galaxy. Is this the new reality? Is this the new normal? I hope not. But let's talk about the Galaxy versus Houston Dynamo. Coming into this match, we had to win by 3 goals in order to have a chance to qualify, right? Before we get started, anybody here had high hopes or had any hopes of that happening, of us getting a goal for, a winning game by 3 goals or more? No,
chance.
Nah, absolutely not. Fuck
me
no.
neither.
Nah.
Me neither. We did, and I know we definitely talked about it last week that we wanted to see Dunbar, we wanted to see Wild, we wanted to see all these young kids, Harvey out there. We wanted to see them from the start. Unfortunately, GBS does what GBS does, and we did not get them. Let me run the lineup real quick. It's Bingham at goal, not surprising. Insua, Depew, Steris, Belcher, Kitchen, Corona, Pavon, Arajo, Leggett, and Subak. When you guys saw this, what was your initial thoughts of when you guys saw his lineup?
Let me hear from Eddie. We don't usually hear from him,
Oh,
so I'm curious to know what your thoughts are in case people didn't catch your podcast yesterday.
well, I had no hope going in, and once I saw Zubak's name up there, I was like, dude, that's it. It's over. There's not a chance. No, but in all seriousness, it was the same feeling going in. It's like, where the fuck are those goals gonna come from? Nothing in that lineup convinced me otherwise, And I might have joked about it before, but you see someone like Ethan Zubak, and how confident can you be that you're gonna make up this deficit?
Yeah. And this goes for either Maso or Angel. You guys were asking for Pavon out wide. This this whole tournament, you was asking for Pavon out wide because we hadn't seen him there. What was your thoughts when you saw him out wide?
Fuck. It was.
Fuck it. Fuck.
Yeah,
Just fuck it.
I mean,
All right.
that's what we asked for, right? But then you look around and it's like Pavon against the world, dog. Because who's gonna back him up?
You know what though? There's one thing I will say here then, because I know we said last podcast that we'd like to see this, we'd like to see that, we'd like to see this, right? In terms of what players we'd like out there. The one thing I will give credit GBS here and in this specific game just passes, he actually played players in his position, right? And let's be quite frank here. If it wasn't for David Bingham's massive fuck up, which unfortunately you have to play David Bingham in that rope, that's the only thing he can do. It might as well not play with a fucking goalie, to be honest with you. But apart from that, I mean, it's really fucking annoying, right? That it took that stupidity from David Bingham to really knock out the win from the game. Because apart from that, everyone was playing in their actual position, right? We had, Araujo, right? It's the only exception, but again, we understand why he's there.
We've seen him. We've seen him there multiple times now, right? So even in that, it's like okay,
right, and we understand that he's a Band-Aid, and we
Yep.
know why he's there. So I can let that one slide, right? And it's not like he did terrible. Although again, this is why I talk about in the podcast before that he doesn't have that winger mentality. The biggest proof of that wasn't the game where he should have had that shot. He had that clear chance where he should have done anything with it except for what he did.
All
But
right,
it's
hold
because he
on.
doesn't have. But point is, apart from the Araujo thing, I was happy to see that everyone was playing in their roles, right? I know that Ethan Zubak is not the answer, but you know what? He's a forward.
All right.
So, go ahead.
So before we get into talking about what actually happened in the game and everything around this game, from your perspective, did you guys think GBS actually put a team out there to try and go out there and win by 3 goals or more, or was this
Yeah.
just kind of like let's see what happens?
No, I think he did, and this is what I was saying. I mean, credit to him for putting out the best possible team that he thinks he has available then, because he did. I mean, if it wasn't for David Bingham's fuck up, we technically would have won 1-0 and just 2 goals shy. And who knows what could have happened with all those goals that they missed at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he did. I think he did. I think, and I'm gonna give him his credit. Fuck it. He, in his mind, if I'm gonna put out the best possible team, at least I'm gonna put them in their actual positions.
Yeah, I agree. Any Eddie or Mastic have anything
Well,
to that?
I was pretty much gonna agree with Angel. Yeah, everyone played in their position, and that stupid goal, was it 17 minutes in? How the team came up hyped, maybe had something special, but that fucking moment just deflated that team, that
You could feel it, huh? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but at least I feel like it translated through the airwaves somehow into my eyeballs, and I felt just the deflation.
yeah, and I feel we never got to see what that team was gonna bring because of that play. That team was like, fuck, like it starts from the back, that's the leadership in the back, and to do a fuck up like that, dude.
And we'll get started talking about the game right now. But like to me, that moment right there is just kind of like it. We were just like we harped on this so much last week when we were talking about Bingham not reacting to the shot from Mohamed, right? And then you see him do something similar again of a set piece that's not well placed. In my opinion, is not well placed, right? All right, so let's get talking about this. The game kicks off.
You said you want to do that. You want to just get to it and then talk about the other stuff, right?
Yeah. So let's do that.
You said that.
The game kicks off, and one thing I'll say right from the bat, I didn't see the same intensity as Saul against LAFC, right? There was intention, but there wasn't that energy that I saw them bring versus LAFC, which I don't. I mean, I do understand. I know exactly what's happening. It's kind of hard for me to comprehend why these games to them mean so much more than any other game. Right?
I mean, we alluded to that though in the LAFC, the post LAFC chat. Like, well, why the fuck didn't they do that against Portland? And this has been the ongoing story that it seems to be just for not even San Jose.
I was gonna go there, like, because you say this often. You say this often where the guys don't, they feel something different for LAFC, and they can't replicate that against other teams.
But
yeah, go for it.
I mean, I think that comes down to coaching, bro. Like they're hyping themselves up for that game because of the media presence. It's different. I'm sure that feeling is different. It has nothing to do with the coach. Why can't GBS hype up his players going into any fucking game like it's the game against LAFC? So I think it's down to coaching at the end of the day.
Listen, all right. So why do you say that? What is it they think GBS is not doing necessarily, right?
Just I don't know, relationship with the team. Maybe it's a cop out, but language barrier can be one thing too. You know, some things don't translate the way they do,
Well,
from Spanish to
To me,
English.
that's still an ongoing issue, and it was apparent in the broadcast. I don't know if you guys caught it, but you know how at the water break they have one of the two coaches in one half, and then the second
yeah,
half
yeah, yeah.
they'll have the other coach. They were asking GPS questions, and his responses, I couldn't even understand what the fuck he was telling them.
But
I
Yeah.
was like, what?
I think half of that is because he's looking at the game and kind of just like trying to respond while trying. So I don't agree with
I
that.
don't know.
And here's something, right? Like, so I've seen a lot of things of that on Twitter, and let's throw the idea of this going through this quick at the door because now we're just having conversations and I'm okay with that. I like this flow, so let's just keep it at that. But I saw a conversation on Twitter this week about how it's same from last week where GBS is not like people believe he doesn't he doesn't get at the team, right? I want to debunk that because I was there for the practice before the Minnesota game, and I seen him rip into Rolf. I seen him rip into people, like rip to them, right? I seen him rip into I think it might have been no, it was Subak. It was Subak. He ripped into him in English, right? Like I don't know if Subak understood everything he said, but he gets on them. So like I know he does get on their asses, right? So like he doesn't show it on the bench, and I know that's a problem for a lot of people. But I at least for sure know I seen it with my own eyes that he does rip people to
This is
try
accurate.
to try to get that like what he wants through, right? Like people was like he was just not attacking the ball correctly or something like that because they were running the same play over and over and over again, and people kept fucking up. So he went at him. Same thing with Rolf. He told him like I think he was pushing up when he didn't have to, and he got on him. Like so he gets on him a lot until he gets his point across. So I think that you know that just because you see it on TV and just because the camera pans on him when he's chilling and just kind of frustrated, it's telling you a story, but I don't think it necessarily is the full story. Is what I
You
was
know
trying
what
to
it
say.
is?
Yeah.
We got a bunch of bitches on the team, dog.
Yes.
Straight up.
Listen, I want
Because and I think we're at the point where we've been losing for so long that none of these players. I think Angel mentioned it last week that they have that mentality where it's not a winning one,
Mm.
and it. I don't know what the fuck they
I
have
think
to
they're
do.
comfortable with losing.
Yeah, they need a fucking limpia. We need to ship all these motherfuckers out because they're not backing up their coach.
Yeah, 100%. But let's get into this game. Listen, early on though, early on in this game, Houston was able to break down the defense on the left hand side, on Rolfin and Steris side, and get across in that Bingham parries away, right? But from that moment on, like for a second there, I thought we would be okay because what's the cat that had a red card who didn't play? Elise. Like
Ellis.
yeah, like he's super fast, and I was okay. We at least don't
Oh
have
my
to deal
guy,
with that.
bro.
We at least don't have to deal with that. But it was clear early on that like even without like their speediest and more the player who poses most threats for us, like they can still break us down, um even without people there, right? I do want to talk about the Pui, but I feel like early on I had any hopes I had was very little. They were gone because I seen them like I didn't feel the same energy felt with the AFC. But yeah, the game didn't like. There's not. I don't even know how to talk about this game because I don't believe the game had like all that intention from either side of the team. I think both teams are pretty bad, actually. You know what I mean, Houston and Galaxy are pretty bad. And shit doesn't really pop off until we see in the 15th minute we see that foul. That Masa, what's his name?
Yo, Benny?
No. Who takes it? In
Oh, Darwin Quintero?
Darwin
El
Quintero takes it,
científico
right?
del gol.
So let's talk. Listen, what the fuck happened in that play? And an angel, please go ahead and release your anger if you still have any left. But man, that free kick was not well taken, in my opinion. I mean, it was on frame. I'll give him that much. And I can tell you exactly what happens. But let's talk about that. What do you guys?
You know what?
Bingham had to do something, right?
I've been saying this about David Bingham for the longest, right? I understand that he's a good shot stopper from time to time, and he has certain times where he has these great saves and these reactions. But this is what I was referring to last year mostly, and this is why we had a little competition, Rudy, last year, because I kept telling you what games is David Bingham's going to cost us, right? He can have 2 great games, but then he's gonna fuck up bad in one game, and it's gonna be a massive fuck up. This is a tournament, so it's not like a regular season game. So right now, any little mistake you make, it's gonna fucking cost you. Now, to his defense, the other AFC game, we just got thrashed. Period. So luckily, that one goal that was his fuck up, he probably gets a pass for it because there was another 5 goals that we got scored on, right? This one, though, we're talking about a game where you're at least going to end up with 3 fucking points, at least 3 points for whatever may be the version of the regular season.
Right? It saves space
exactly,
a little bit.
Saves space a little bit. And he couldn't even fucking dive to his left.
Man,
and it's, again, back to the goal. It's not like it was a well-placed. Listen, credit to Darwin Theta for getting it on target.
Yeah.
Right? As the person taking the free kick, at least get it on target, somewhere where you have to make the goalkeeper make the save.
Yep.
Right, work. And anyway, and listen, even where David Bingham was, I genuinely believe that all he had to do maybe was just stick out his arm, maybe just quick, sidestep a little bit and just stick out his arm. He probably didn't even have to dive for it, and he could have gotten to that goal. Right? It's these are the mental lapses that I say that he has, which is why I think he's a subpar goalkeeper. In addition to his poor distribution, in addition to not being a leader, in addition to not being able to grab balls, in addition to always giving balls back to dangerous positions. I mean, there's just so much David Bingham does, and it takes these type of situations for the Galaxy fan base to finally realize, hey, this guy is fucking trash. Because everyone's always blinded by, oh, well, he blocked 100 shots. Well, yeah, because we have a shit defense. Yeah. When you have a shit defense and a shit, pairing of whatever your CDMs are going to be that's allowing 10, 20 shots, listen, any of us 4 can be on there and we'll be able to still get 10, 15 shots if we're facing 25, right? If you're an able body. That's just real. This is the reality of a human being because of your natural instincts and your actions. Now, obviously, he's a quote unquote professional goalkeeper, right? So he's obviously gonna be better than us. But those are the type of saves he needs to be fucking making, And we just shouldn't be having these conversations. Look, if it happens from time to time and randomly, but listen, there's a reason why he went from being a starter at San Jose to being their fucking second string to fucking getting shipped to the LA fucking Galaxy. Yep. Like, you swear that your fucking rival's trying to sell you one of their better players? Fuck no. No, they're not.
No,
they're not.
You're right on all that. And I think, like, what you're saying, actually, so let me sum up what you're saying, right? Like, one thing he has great reflexes and he's a great shot stopper. Great, so it's a big word. Let me retract that, right? He's a good shot stopper and he has good reflexes. I give him that. But my guy lacks all fundamentals of being a keeper. Let me break down this.
From distributing with his arms.
No.
Distributing with his legs.
No. It's even
everything.
It's even more basic than that, right? Like, listen, he's not a good football player because he can't kick the ball, right? So we all know that. But like, if you're a keeper, sometimes you get away with it because all you got to do is have the fundamentals, have a good foundation, and have good reflexes. You get away with not having good, right?
Decision making is very poor, especially when he has to come out to crosses. He can't even get to those.
Let me break down this fucking free kick for you, right? So when the free kick is so to one side, like, this free kick is not in the middle. It's like it's off to the right. You set up the wall to cover that first pole, and you cover the second pole, right?
Right.
Any goalkeeper coach will tell you, like, give yourself, cover your pole and allow the other side to be open, right? Because you'll react to that side. Like, you're always gonna react to that side. If you see this replay, my guy is pretty centered. He's not on his side. He's pretty centered, like center of the goal, right? Because of that, he wants to take a guess to the right side, and he does. He takes like that stutter step to the right, and when he takes a stutter step to the right, like, it's over. Because by the time he finishes that step, the ball's on him. He can't react. So 100% of the time, what you do is you stand a step or two more to the right, to where the opposite of your wall. That way, if you see it coming to you, you're standing there, you bring it down and you keep it. If it's going over the wall,
absolutely.
If it's going over the wall, you have 1-2 step and then you launch yourself to make that block.
But look,
it's fundamental.
Yeah, but you said you gave the stutter step. He tried to cheat. You're saying is, bro. But look where that ball's placed. Even if you got caught cheating, throw your hands. Don't fucking dive.
No.
It was that close, dude.
But see, like he's moving. Like, that's the thing. He's moving, right? Like, don't move there. Like, you had to be a step or two further out. Because as soon as he kicks it, that's not coming for you anymore. So you're moving to the other side and you're diving there, right? Like, your reaction is already taking you that way. But when you're trying to cheat and stutter step right, like, you're not, like, listen, I don't give a fuck how cat like you are. You're not gonna get back on time. You're not gonna be able to move that. Like, that's just not physically possible to do that, right? Like it's just bad from him. And I say he's bad with he doesn't have fundamentals right because there's a ball in little after that, or I think it might have been before that, where Houston gets in our area and they manage a shot to him, right? They manage a shot to him. Given that he's already kind of like tilting him back, his reaction is to bring the ball to kind of swat the ball down, right? Like anybody knows that what you do there is if it's coming here, you just push it up, right? And if it's going wide, you just push it up, like back down. Like I mean, you're setting it up, like you know what I mean. Like in his dad thing of like the lack of fundamentals. And you know what? Here I'm gonna say this right. I think it's the Galaxy's goalie coach who needs to be replaced because we've seen this with Rowe. We've seen this with Perk, and we've seen this with Yop. Like all these cats have like great
See,
shots.
I don't know if I agree
Hold on.
with you there.
Can't they just
Okay.
bring someone
Let
new?
me get my thought out, and then you guys could dismantle it, right? Can you guys argue that all these guys had fundamentals correctly?
Let me ask you another question. Where are all those keepers now?
Where are they?
Yeah, they're not doing great in their teams either.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Fucking Brian Rowe was in the goal of the week every week last season, bro, in Orlando.
I again, right? But that's it. Like I think that like Pinedo was the last like full rounded.
Well, of course, that's why we had him on the pod. Come on, you know that. That's why we had him on the pod.
He was the last full. Like we have not seen it, and none of these guys are better. None of these guys are better. I think Bingham probably is a little better shot stopper, but he's not a more rounded keeper than Perk, Rowe, or fucking or Diop. He's not. You know what I mean? Like he's at their level. At their level and nothing else. So yeah. Going back
Again,
to this,
though,
like, what do you guys and I because I don't even know how to talk about this game because this game was pretty trash. To be quite honest with you, after that goal, like it was.
can I just talk about the tournament then as a whole?
So hold on. Like,
Can we do
Masa,
that? Because
yeah,
Alright, yeah, that's fine. If you wanna-
Masa, you want to talk about Subak? I want to talk about Subak, and I want to talk about Ajo. I want to talk about the team. Before we go into talking about like just a tournament
Alright,
in
go
general.
for
But Masa, you brought up something with that breakaway that Subak had.
Oh yeah, dog. That 1-on-1.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you shoot that wide, bro?
Like not even on
I
target.
finished that goal. Eddie seen me finish that goal.
Yeah, it's super. So here's my thoughts on Araujo. Here's my thoughts on Subak. And I think it could apply to a lot of the players we have. Is that they have good understanding of the game. They have bright ideas, but they just lack the quality. Araujo is one of them. He had a good through pass inside the box, and then completely shit his pants because he didn't know what the fuck to do.
Oh, 1 second, Rudy. You said they have an understanding of the game. Can I get to the 90th minute? The Zubac miss.
Yeah. No.
All right. You said they have an understanding of the game. Fuck that shit. You already know how I feel about Zubac, bro. You're a forward. Instinctively, for your legs automatically move in that direction, bro. What was he doing? He wasn't tired. Don't give me that bullshit. That he was
So-
Yeah,
I
'cause then he
was-
probably sprinted after the other ball. I mean, when he got past him, right? Yeah.
yeah. Fuck
Well, listen,
that.
I think I forgot where I commented that, but I said Subak watched Pavon play with the rest of us. He watched it happen. He had no interest in being part of it. He just watched it with a better view, right? Because he was in the field next to him watching him play. Because he had no interest of fucking following the play and being part of it. And as a striker, like I have to believe, like even if it's Pavon right there, you want him to give you the pass so you can score the goal, right?
Yeah.
Like I have to imagine that's like again, I'm not a striker, but I have to imagine that as a striker, especially one that's unproven, you want to score as many goals as you can, and you don't care if it's Pavon or whoever it is. Like feed me so I can score a goal. And that last play, bro, like that. Come on.
And I think
I hear you.
Brian on your pod yesterday, Eddie. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I saw that there who mentioned that that Zubac had a good game, right? Because he created these chances and he put himself in these opportunities and he did all these things.
Yep.
Right? Which is fine. Absolutely. I wouldn't knock him for that if he would have at least put one in the back of the net.
Mhm.
At least one in the back of the net. And I'd be like, you know what, fine. You know, maybe nerves. He finally got to see, blah, blah. But my man's can even fucking make at least that fucking the Pavon one. At least that one. That one at least he would have been okay.
I think it goes back to my point though. These kids don't have the quality to be in the first team.
Well, we've been saying this shit about the longest.
Yeah.
That Ethan Subak is garbage.
But listen, here's the thing though. Like we've asked for him we asked to see them here, right? Like I mean, even you guys asked for him here. I was like, put you Eddie, that's definitely Eddie. But even you guys said like put in Subak because he's a natural striker, right? When we talked about like Pavon being placed incorrectly. Listen, again, I'm gonna go back to saying like GBS sees these guys more often. And there's reasons why they're not out there all the time. And Subak kind of displayed
Right.
that. Araujo displayed that too. Like, listen, again, Araujo, I think he had a lot of bright spots in the game, right? I thought he had a lot of passion. I thought he had a lot of fight in him. But he lacks the quality to actually do something. You know what I mean? Actually
Well,
make
but see,
something
you can't knock it for,
happen.
and this is exactly what I said in the last pod about that specific role. But again, this is a band-aid. We need to remember that Araujo is a band-aid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's just there as a temporary thing because, listen, let's be honest here. If it was Katay in that position, Katay would have taken the fucking shot, like, or done something else, right? Not what Araujo did. But I'm not gonna knock Araujo for that because he's not. And I think someone said that he used to play as a winger when he was, I don't know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, no.
12.
I
Like,
think,
who
I think
fucking
same, bro.
cares? It's not the same shit when you're
It's not the
playing
same.
at this level. And he knows, and it's quick instinct. Like you make quick decisions, right? He didn't make a single one. Instead, the ball ends up out of fucking bounds. And that's the type of which is why I say we need to get a fucking winger that's going to play there. You know, give someone
Man.
else a chance. You know, obviously we don't have one right now, but that's my whole thing with Araujo playing there because I see people saying, "Oh, let him play in that wing. Let him play in that wing."
Nah.
No, that's not going to work. It's just that's exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to having a guy that say, "Hey, go play." Just because you're gonna give me your all and you're gonna play with heart, yay for the team, cool. But if you can't fucking shoot when you're in front of the fucking when the goalie's right there, fucking at least pop it off of his face.
Listen, it's just not enough. It's just not enough, right? Like I get
Yeah.
again. I told you, like, listen, that run he does to get inside the box to get that pass is great. Oh, like, you know, again, and he had like a header and he challenged a lot. He went in hard a lot, but it's just not enough. It's not quality, especially when you're talking about the LA Galaxy. Like, we're the staple of the league, right? Like,
Supposed to be.
or
We
yeah,
were.
obviously. No, again, listen. Say whatever you want to say. Like this the club, the club itself, it's is the creme of the crop, right? Like, it's maybe not at the moment, but it is what it
Right.
is. Like, if you look at it,
Well, of course, yeah.
in
Well,
general,
right,
the
right.
league is the league. Like, they look at the Galaxy for that. But man, like, we don't have the talent, right? Because, and I was just talking about Subak and I was just talking about Subak and Ajo right now. But let's look at Kitchen. Let's look at Rolf. Let's look at Steris. Let's look at, I mean, we were talking about Bingham. But almost every single person in that team, bro, you can look at and be like, you're not there. You're not where I want to be. Like, listen, Leggett, I think Leggett has a little more quality, but he has no fight. My guy has no fight whatsoever.
He's a bitch, dog.
He is,
Like,
and look,
Like,
that's.
I don't want to.
let's
I
be
don't
real.
need to. Say, I
I'm
don't need.
gonna call him a bitch
You could, yeah. I mean,
because the
feel
one
free
player that
to.
was here last year, the one player that was here last year who had a winner mentality, and this fool's crying about that shit.
Listen,
That's what
again,
this team. That is what this team lacks, right? Someone who wants to win. And
I don't want to go.
fuck, dog,
I don't want
bunch
to
of
talk about
fucking-
Zlatan. I don't want to talk about Zlatan. But let's talk about.
all right, well, we'll talk about GBS then. That was a winner. That was a winner, and what? His players not backing him up.
And again, man, if you look at that roster, right? If you look at the roster, and let's just start with Corona and Kitchen, right? And in the bench we have Harvey, we have Sasha, that can kind of play those roles, right? And that's about it. Would you start any Sasha or Harvey instead of
I would have
Kitchen?
started Harvey, bro,
But
over
see,
Kitchen.
why? Because you
Yeah,
want
but
to see
that-
him.
Because he's
Yeah, because you
unproven.
want to see it.
I
Well,
wanna
right,
see.
because
Yeah,
you want to
but-
see him.
okay.
GBS is
But
trying
you're
to
trying
win
to
this
win.
game. It was apparent by the lineup he put out. He's going to go with the guys. Listen, Kitchen had a great fucking game last game against Minnesota, right? In for the playoffs last year. Came back from that injury. My man was solid, right? So we know he can do it. Just
Yeah,
don't know
but if
what
you're
the
trying to
fuck's
win
going
this
on.
game, then why not put someone more offensive?
But
Like,
you know what?
no,
Here's
no,
the
no.
thing.
Go
Here's
for
the thing.
it.
You ask about would I start one of these guys? My thing about Kitchen, I'm high on Kitchen, whether he's the trade asset or stays on our team, but you need the right piece in front of him. That fool's a destroyer, bro. So don't forget that he's playing with the handicap because he's got to cover for Felcher, who gets fucking lost all the time. He's
Your
there.
GPS thing.
Yeah. He's there to destroy. If he had someone like, well, Kleshin might not have the legs, but like a younger Kleshin to come and check in and take the ball away from him, I guarantee you this conversation would be completely different, bro.
Well, let's have a conversation about Felcher then, because I'm in the opinion that he didn't have a bad tournament.
How could he not have a bad tournament? He's not there to fucking get taken on. You know, that's one thing that people miss. Like, one thing I talked about, like, after the first game, I think it was, is if you look at the highlights or if you watch the game, and Sua was caught in a lot of one-on-ones, and I'm not trying to praise Sua, but he was there. Felcher was almost never caught on a one-on-one. It was
Okay.
always Kitchen on that side on the one-on-ones because Felcher would fucking drags his feet all the way back to his position.
But no, but see, no, I disagree with that, and the only reason I disagree with that is because, listen, I think by design he's meant to push up, right? But when we can't control the ball, and we just give away bad balls, when we give stupid passes away, and you caught off guard, like, listen, you have to be the Flash to get back there.
Fuck. Now I'll give you a perfect example. The legit ball that he gave away, right? You saw that at the end of this last game.
Yeah.
Felcher, what he does, we get possession. He puts his head down and he starts running.
Yeah, and I think that's by design.
No, he's not, dude. It doesn't matter whether it's design or not. You have to know what's going on. You know, you have to.
No,
see,
but okay,
you make eye contact. You make eye contact with a jet, like you're an option. You know, he's like, nah, I'm gone.
But legit doesn't even look up.
Neither
legit does what legit does and just kind of gives the ball back or sideways, right? Or am I wrong?
That's
on that?
like legit.
Yeah, listen, like legit doesn't never look up in that pass.
Yeah,
right. He gets the ball and he just touches out wide. I mean, again,
I'm not defending legit either because I have legit too.
All right.
Look, man, the one thing I will say I don't agree with you, Rudy, is that you were giving Felster more credit than he deserves. I generally think that Araujo would be better in that right back role because he has more speed. He is faster. He is quicker, and he's not afraid to go on one-on-ones like Eddie said. He has the legs for it. There's certain plays where not even the Flash could probably get it. You're right. Well, no, obviously the Flash could, but you know, because the Flash, right?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. However, I'm in agreement with Eddie that and this is a sentiment that I've shared on this pod for a while now, that I would love to see Araujo over legit. I mean, over
Rolf.
well, yeah, over legit too. Might as well, right? Over Rolf and that right back role for quite some time now, even since last season. I mean, he's at this point, it's just leave Rolf on the bench. I don't think Araujo has done anything bad to this point to say he doesn't deserve to be starting in that right back role.
Man, and fair enough. I think Araujo that position, especially because what he showed, like the fire he showed over the last couple of games where he played, I can agree with that. I can agree with that because there is a lot of fire there, right? And he puts in tackles up, further up the field. So I'm sure he could do the same in the defending side of the field. So I agree with you. I'm just saying. I mean, I think why I went on this rant was because I don't think Fletcher did all that bad this tournament, right? Like if we're looking at, if we want to, I think I could point at players more before I would point at Rolf, right? I'm not saying he's great. That's not what I'm saying either. But I'm saying like there's a lot of things about Rolf.
Basically, what Rudy is saying is that Rolf was the best of the defenders.
Oh, the worst. Oh, the worst.
No, and that's what to get to. You're 100% correct in that sense. If we're talking about the rest, which I was a little surprised that we're just having this conversation on Felcher, because yes, absolutely. I don't think that perhaps he was probably fine, okay, compared to everyone else. Listen, even Insua got done up a few times this fucking this tournament. People was beyond garbage. Legit, maybe recycle. I mean, legit. Fuck, I keep going to legit because I think he should be recyclable too. Steris, the only reason I say he's probably recyclable and not absolute trash like people is because maybe we can get him in some type of trade, right, or sell him somewhere because he had an okay year last year alongside Diego Polenta, right?
And he's American CB.
Yeah, and he's American, and there's some pros. But apart from that, if it weren't for any of that, Daniel Steres reverted back to being the same Daniel trash ass Steres that we've been talking about for 2-3 seasons before. And my man has been here as long probably as a Jet, if not even longer. So these guys, to me, he's got to go.
Came out from G2.
To me, he's got to go. And go ahead.
So because you're talking about Steres, and we talked a little bit about people when you mentioned them right now. What about Dupuis? Right.
Listen, my man Dupuis, he proved again. This is another game, and he had a good game. He had a solid game.
Solid game.
There was one specific play that I think about, and he kind of lost the ball like on the Galaxy's left side, right? On the left side, but he had the wheels. He was able to recover. He did all the things right to recover his fuck up. Something that we don't see these fucking players do. Like these guys in the back line, they just, oh fuck, I fucked up, and they just, somebody else figure out. No, he was hustling for that shit. Now, granted, it was throughout this entire tournament that I realized, hey, holy shit, he used to be a forward. Now it makes sense why he's more agile, why he's better with his feet, why he thinks a little bit different than some of the defenders because he understands how a forward's going to move. And that's a good thing. Because so far, what we've seen from Dupuis so far, whether it's preseason and 2 regular season games earlier this year and this tournament, the one game he had,
solid.
He hasn't looked bad. He hasn't looked out of place. As a matter of fact, he's probably looked better than all the other defenders.
You know what I like about my man right here? Tell me one ball he lost in the fucking air, dog. Oh my god,
he's
bro.
aggressive too when it goes up for him, dog. I love it,
dog. He goes 100% in the air. Doesn't let the fucking ball bounce. It's not
Oh no, Masa,
Oh
come
shit,
back.
we lost
Come back,
Air go
Masa.
Masa.
up in the
Oh,
air
there
for
he
a
is.
Masa, we
second.
lost you for a second.
Man, like I don't understand like why. Maybe because he's young and he's hungry, he wants to get a starting
He's not
spot.
even that young anymore. I didn't realize he was like what 26 already.
But I'm saying like he's new, right?
24?
He's like new
Okay, well, new is fine. Yeah.
to a professional or not professional soccer, but MLS team, right? Maybe because he's getting his chance. But fuck, dude, if he gives me that shit every game, bro, I'm playing with him in the back by himself.
And listen, with him back there, apart if it wasn't for David Bigham's fuck up, his first game it would have been a clean sheet. All right, and I'm not saying that it's entirely on him, but again, I think he was definitely the best out of the four in the back, and it was fuck miles obvious, like so obvious of how good he was compared to everyone else. And this is a guy that's been converted to a center back,
Well,
right? What does that tell you about the rest of the back line? Now, again, I'm gonna keep giving Insua a pass because apart from the two games in this tournament that he, the first two games where he has his lapses, he didn't look terrible in preseason, and he didn't look bad his two games into the regular MLS season, right? And even then, he's only what 5 games in, so
even the MLS's back tournament games, like when he looked really bad, is because the team is giving the ball up in a bad position and kind of exposed him in a bad position himself, right? Like
with the
my biggest
the one goal against was it
Blanco.
LAFC or Portland, the Blanco
oh yeah,
one, right? Yeah,
wait,
Blanco, except
yep,
for
with the
that
header.
one.
Yeah, yep.
But even then, that's one, right? That's one. And how many more do these guys had
Well,
the entire
here-
fucking season?
So that's what I wanted to get to, right? With the Pew, I get it, small sample size, but in the 2 games people played, there was multiple mistakes that led to goals, right? Insua's had a mistake that led to a goal. Steres had a mistake that led to a goal. And Rolf, I mean, like you could fault him for different things, right? In the one game that we played, the goal that came in, it wasn't his fault, and everything that was in the air, like Mas was saying, like he marshaled that and made sure that was clear. Like again, it doesn't take a lot for us to be impressed with a defender because we have such shit defense.
Yeah.
But the Pew fucking he makes a case for himself, and he's been making a case for himself. So I am aboard. I'm on board. Like
And another thing,
It was not even
oh,
my
go
bad.
ahead. No, go
It's
ahead,
not
go
even
ahead.
about being impressed, dog. This is something your CB supposed to be. You're supposed to be aggressive. You're supposed to attack the ball in the air, 100%, no bounces, bro. Like this is
That's what I was going to
common
allude
knowledge, bro. This is
which is
not to
yeah.
be impressive. This is shit that you should be doing. And the
Facts.
fact that this young man, or not so young man, is
Look,
showing
26 is young to me.
these older veterans.
Well, the new guy, you can say the new guy,
Yeah,
right? The new guy.
These older veterans, how it's supposed to be done. Like, come on, bro. That's
And that's exactly what I would allude to that, right? Along the lines of that is anyone that's gonna say, well, look, he definitely did this with Steres. No, listen, Steres didn't do none of that shit in this game either. It's just unfortunately for Steres that the Pew did this shit and backed him up. Otherwise, Steres, I don't think he was aggressive. I don't think Steres was. Again, this goes back to the thing. Both Steres and people are both trash. Steres may be recyclable because we probably could do certain things with him, given that he might not be
There's
as
options
expensive
there.
as
sell him for like
people, and
400K.
we can probably trade him. And he's American. And there's all these things. He to me, he's like legit. They're both recyclable because someone might go for them. Might take them, right? But apart from that, if it weren't from that, to me, he's also hot garbage.
I mean, after the years we've been through, I'm a little too scared to love. I'm not ready to love yet, So I would want to see Dupuy in tougher games. You said it, Rudy.
Yep.
Like there was not much to mention, right, between the 17th and the 90th minute.
90th minute, yep.
Because the game, it was a fucking 96 MLS game, dude. It was ugly. So before I jump on the Pew train, sorry. I got to see him in bigger games, dude.
No,
I'm not.
I don't know, man.
We're not
To
on
me,
the, like,
the home
train,
opener,
though,
the
Whoa,
home
whoa.
opener, the first regular season game. I mean, those are big games.
Listen,
The
I think with Eddie saying, and I 100% agree with it, is like I'm not on board saying like this is the answer, but this is definitely somebody I want to see more often out there to see if it is the answer, right? Because we don't know that yet. And
to me, it's the answer for right now with what we have. He's the best. He's the best of what we have at a CB
That's
position.
the shit that we have.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
but even then, though, it's not a bad thing. Like he actually looks good.
Yeah, he wants to fucking
know?
play, and he's
Yeah.
playing hard, bro. Like this is shit that players should be doing.
Yeah, no,
I'm
agree.
winning everything in the fucking air, bro. That's how I like to play. If I have to take somebody, I have to lay someone out unconscious to get to a header, I'm doing that shit.
That's true. He probably would.
So
On
I don't
teammates, he's
understand.
doing that shit.
He's fucked up
I
his
On
own
don't-
teammates,
teammates
he's
I don't-
doing that shit.
to get balls. Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck? I don't get paid to do this shit, and I have it in me. How come these fuckers that
Wow.
get paid
Soft,
to do
man.
this shit
Soft.
bro?
Well,
So-
and I think that's been the. Go ahead, Rudy. My bad.
No. I was gonna move on. So if you have something else to say about this, let's talk about it.
No, and I'll say I think that's just the overall sentiment, at least for me, about this tournament, is that we have a bunch of soft ass fucking I don't even know what to
Bitches.
call them. Like, yeah,
All right, hold on.
that,
so,
right?
so
They're
let's
just
talk
soft
about
as fuck. You know, a whole
let-
bunch of softies in this fucking team.
let's talk about that right now. But like Eddie said, like from the 15th, 16th minute when the free kick was scored to the 90th minute when the penalty was called, this is just a lot of dullness, right? Some half-ass chances, and really because like the teams don't have the quality to actually make these half-ass chances anything more than that, right? So half-ass chances, but we do get a penalty, and this penalty, like it's listen, it maybe karma, right? Because it looked very similar to the PK they
That
called.
was
against
exactly
us,
the
right?
same, Doug.
So at that point, the only thing I'm grateful for is that at least they're calling it all the time, and not just
Yeah,
sometimes,
It's
right? Like
consistent.
because it's a soft penalty, but we get a soft penalty and we take it. Anybody had doubts that Pavon would score it?
No doubts, baby.
No, you had him.
Not a single one.
Yeah.
I knew. I was like, "Fuck me." Of course, I'd be wrong. I'm like,
I,
off that penalty at the end, so I knew he was gonna make it.
man, you know how much that angered me though. Like, not the penalty, not the fact that we scored a penalty, but the fact that they wake up. What, like in the 90th minute they woke up. Like what the fuck? Like literally, what the fuck?
That's another thing that pissed me off too. Right? Against Levas, we're tired in the 60th minute, and now we score in the 89th, and all of a sudden all these motherfuckers want to run again, dog. That's not on the coach. That's on your weak ass minded players.
Yeah, man, that's you have no heart. Sorry.
They don't.
It bothers me, man. And the fact that listen at the end though, from the 90th minute to the 96th minute, I wasn't sure if we were gonna win or we were gonna lose it. I definitely didn't think we were gonna tie. I thought one of the two stupid teams were gonna score a goal. I wasn't sure which one, right? I figured it was gonna be Houston because they had their shot, they had their opportunities, but they can't figure it out. Or us, we're gonna figure some shit out, and we almost did. With we talked about it a little bit. That play that Pavon does, right? Pavon manages to get inside, get near post, and puts a ball right across the goal, right where a player was at. But a player was not interested in continuing that play, man. Not until it was after it had gone past him, and that's disappointing, man. And I feel bad for GBS. I feel bad for fucking for Pavon, bro. All right, Pavon, because listen, my man played 90 minutes every single game,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And he
off,
never looked like he slowed down.
no, he did look like he slowed down. I'm sorry, I can't agree with you. Like, he looked like he slowed down. Even this game, I thought he had heavy legs. But I'm not mad at that. I mean, listen, like they're not coming from like game shape activity. Like they've been kind of just chilling, right? So I'm not mad at that. But like, Pavon still fucking puts in the work. He puts in the work, gets it, and the fact that like I said earlier, like Subak just watched it with the rest of us, right? He watched the game develop.
I'm gonna
and
say
not be-
something. Maybe you guys don't agree, but I still think Pavon chose the wrong pass.
What
Afro?
you think was?
I
right
think
behind?
Afro was trailing, Doug. It was when he went 1-on-1.
Oh,
Before he went 1-on-1,
yeah.
Afro was
like-
trailing, bro, top of the box.
Yeah.
I still
Man.
think he went the wrong pass.
See, but
But you
But
think-
that second ball though, that ball he does put through, it should have been a goal.
All right. So let's say he passes to Efra beforehand. You think it changes the game? You think he scores a goal?
I'm gonna say.
I think the chances were similar.
Yeah.
Listen,
I don't know, man.
I
You
didn't talk
have a
about
wide
Efra.
open fucking net, a wide open fucking net inside the 6-yard box, a wide open fucking net, 12-foot long. Come on, no, I don't. Sorry, bro, but it doesn't get easier than that.
When
I
Massa
agree,
mentioned,
but I mean,
when Massa mentioned it, I also remembered that pass, Lejek got on top of the box. You guys remember that?
oh dog, Jesus,
Like how, bro?
Another
Like
motherfucker.
how? Like how?
Subak ass fool right
Yeah, where he
there.
shoots it to like the far left.
Yeah, it misses the
That-
goal
yeah,
entirely.
instead of putting it on frame. Yeah.
How, bro? And this is all right. Subak is not quality. That's my excuse for him. That's my reasoning for him not scoring a goal this game.
Trash. Yeah, trash.
Right? But legit, I think we always talked about like he should be doing more. We expect more from him. I think we harden him because we expect more from him. Oh, you can't even put in a fucking target. You,
Especially
and
with
you
the
have
pay
time.
raise.
You have time, bro. Like you have time. Like what the fuck? All bad, boys. The game finishes 1-1 miraculously because I thought somebody was gonna score. Tournament's
Fucking
over.
Galaxy, dog. They
Tournament's over. I think
fucking can't believe they did that to me.
one of the New York supporter groups offered to take Bingham from us. I told them I'll pay for express shipping.
Yeah.
So we need to find out if that's a real thing or not. I'm hoping
We'll
it is.
reach out to our ISC Connect to see how soon we can make that trade happen. Yeah.
The tournament's over, boys. There's a lot of bad. So let's start with this. Is there anything good we take from this? Anything at all from this whole tournament?
The good, yes, that it took this tournament for a lot of Galaxy fans to come to the realization that we are not the team that a lot of people really think that we are. And some of this there, I've seen a lot of questioning on GBS, and we can get to that in a bit. But when it comes to certain players that we have now, it's time to realize these guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
Right? They're garbage. And I'm glad it took this tournament because, to be frank, we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with the MLS tournament. I mean, with the regular season down the line, right? Who knows what we can
There's some
complete
rumors.
standstill because of COVID. Like, who knows what can happen, right? And even there's gonna be a shorter version. So we don't know what that's gonna be. But it took this fucking tournament that we actually tried to win, apparently, because we supposedly put out the best possible players in respective positions.
I hate that you say that. You're right. You're not
Well,
wrong.
yeah,
I just hate
exactly.
that you say that. I hate that.
We
our
have
best player.
subpar players for the LA Galaxy. At least in 2017, when we had the worst team, we expected something bad to happen because we were changing from this philosophy from getting these players, and it was no, we're gonna go young, right? We're gonna go lower payroll. We saw how that turned out, but I think everyone as a whole had that expectation, like, fuck, we're young, our team's gonna be shit, blah blah blah. And we endured that 2017 season. It went from bad to worse, but we're like, fuck it, rock bottom. But at least we know that our team is actually shit. Here, leading up to before this tournament started, a lot of you were blinded by this whole, oh, we have Sebastian Leggett. Oh, we have Pipo who plays for Costa Rica. Like all this bunch of shit. Like, guys.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, I know.
I'm one of them.
And this is why I'm saying that I was pissed because we got a fucking point, right? I said zero. I said zero. We were literally, Eddie and I were talking about this actually we were texting during the actual game when the fucking penalty happened. I think he texted me like something like, fuck, like Galaxy's really gonna fuck us right now and score this fucking PK or some shit like that. Because that's where our mindset was. Like, this team is so bad, we're gonna get 0 fucking points. And we were less than 10 minutes from getting 0 fucking points in this fucking tournament. Yeah. We got 1 fucking point. Granted, it could have been 3 if it wasn't for David Bingham. But I'm glad.
Or Zubak.
Or Zubak, right. I'm glad it took this fucking tournament for you guys to realize that Ethan Zubak is garbage.
Well,
Daniel Steres is garbage. People is garbage. David Bingham, garbage. We can name other players that are definitely, Sebastian Leggett, garbage. We should probably even consider moving on from Jonathan Dos Santos. If we want Chicharito to be something that everybody wants him to be, we need to get him another winger. Which that's one of the few things that we talk about.
Hold on that because I do want to talk about that. I do want to talk about Jonah. I do want to talk about our DPs and what we have right now.
What I was getting to is just that, like, we have a subpar team, and there's certain players that, yes, they had good, they were good with DC United and then Motherwell or wherever the fuck he was playing in Scotland and Kitchen. But apart from the game that I mentioned earlier in Minnesota, he really hasn't been what we thought he was going to be. Like, there's just so much. It took this fucking tournament for people like Rudy to realize that we're fucking trash.
I was hoping you brought it back because I was like, that was not what I asked. But I'm glad you brought it back. So we're all good now. We're back on track. Eddie, Masa, you guys have anything positive to take out of this other than what? Other than negative positive that Angel just gave us?
No, honestly, no.
Yeah,
I have nothing positive to say about this tournament.
I'm in the same boat.
Maybe Depuy with that last game,
but
we already knew that.
Right, well, yeah, we did. We actually were surprised that Steris started.
Yep, we already knew that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that no one tested positive and then going home safely early.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
why we got in the fucking first place. You know what? Dunbar maybe.
Yeah,
Dunbar probably.
Maybe.
But unfortunately, like Rudy says, we don't know what happens in practice, right? Because the games that he gave us, he looked fine.
The game. The game they gave us in the
You know
scrimmage.
what? The positive I'm gonna take back from this is that when the transfer market opens, they definitely have to bring someone in.
Yeah, there has
Because
to be some changes.
if they don't make moves, then I mean, they're blind. They're blinder than a motherfucker.
So let's go into talking about what everything wrong about it, everything wrong about this tournament, the roster, the team, everything, right? And let me start out by saying this: I'm one of those people that you're talking about, right? Because for me, last year my excuse was we're playing Slatan ball, and because of that, none of the team could do anything because all we got to do is look for that, slot in the middle, right? And I said in this pod many times, I thought this year coming in we were going to see a different style of football. I thought we were going to see uh, more of what GBS did with Boca, like the way they played at Boca, right? Where it's more fluid and it was, big on counterattack, but it was pacey and it was always looking down the middle, not necessarily just crosses. And one thing this showed me is like, one, the team lacks quality just all around, even with the starters, even with starting 11 or a supposed starting 11, like they lack quality. And the worst thing about it is that once they're down, or once they run out of ideas, they go back to Slatan ball, and Slatan is not there, right? So let's talk about this. Roster wise, let's talk about how it got exposed and why there's this big ruckus on social media right now about the team. Let's start with the players. Like, what about this? Like, what about this didn't we know? So Angel, you're big on saying that you knew this, but let's talk about that again. Like, what
So let's
all
start
wrong?
off with the fact that let's start off with the fact that we didn't make any additions right before this tournament, and there's at this point, yes, broken record. What you mentioned at the beginning of the pod, we are aware that there was rumors and certain players that were going to come, right? Obviously, the loss of Qatar didn't help us at all. It obviously made us weaker, right? Whether we think he was good or not, I was on the boat that he was trash, but that's a whole different story. That's irrelevant to the conversation. He still would have been probably better than anything we'd field in that right wing role.
Let's so listen, and you're right, because I think you're right, and I think you could also have the conversation of what if Jonah is there, what if Jet goes like
But
healthy,
yeah, I'm
right?
not gonna
Like
even
like
get
so
to
so
the
so I don't want
yeah.
to and I think we should have these conversations, but right now I kind of want to focus in like with the players, the squad that we had in Orlando, like in fully healthy, right? Because other than the first game for Chilito, we didn't, he wasn't there. With the squad there, like let's talk about what really got exposed. Like what is that, right? Like because I mean, right now we're saying they're trash, but
All right, the biggest
why is
one,
it trash?
goalkeeping. The biggest one to me is goalkeeping, because there's been this whole I don't even know what to call it. Like, I don't understand why the Galaxy fan base has been so quick to be on Bigham's side. Like, he hasn't done anything to earn the love that everyone gives him. So I think that's probably the biggest one to me. It's the whole day, like,
I
finally the
know what
curtain's
it
being
is,
unveiled,
dog.
and there it is. He's fucking trash.
Too
What's
many
your thoughts on why?
people. Too many people hyped on the amount of saves he had last season, because he was a top shot blocker last season. That's why people are so hyped on him. That fool is garbage, bro. Of course he's gonna have that many saves. Like Angel said, he gets bombarded every fucking game. And dog, this past two games, you seen motherfucker can't dive to his left.
Yep.
He can't dive to his left. Like, I don't understand. Like,
That's so embarrassing.
And that right, and no one can say, "Oh, well, the defense has been exposed." No, we knew that there was defensive issues. We've been saying, but I think Alan Franco was in the conversation. We've been saying we needed someone to replace Diego Polenta. So that's not the issue. We've known, like, going into this, that we're going to have defensive issues.
No, I
The
think
goalkeeping thing to me is definitely the thing that has been amplified.
I think that's one way we excuse Bingham too. How you saying people were so high on Bingham? It's like we haven't had a good defense since I don't know when, and I think that's
Long
one
time.
one thing that they've been giving Bingham fans. Like, oh, it's because the defense is bad, but he blocks all his shots. But yeah,
Let me propose this, right? The defense, I think the players are bad, but in my opinion, I think the midfield causes a lot of added pressure on defense by giving up on balls. Uh, so again, right? I wouldn't say people at all. Uh, I'm shaky on both Fulcher and Steris. And Sue, I don't know a lot. I guess I haven't seen him a lot, so I kind of want to give him. Like, I'm with you, giving him a pass. But those guys being shaky in the midfield, losing balls in a very stupid way a lot of the times, that has to kind of go hand in hand. Or am I wrong in that?
well, I mean, yeah, bro, we're missing Our fucking DP player right there.
See, but even then, we can make the same argument. When Jonathan Dos Santos was there, then how come David Bingham was still bombarded so much last year that his numbers were puffed to like fucking 15 saves a game?
Yeah,
Right,
listen,
with Jonathan in there, and that's what I'm getting. Like, I at this point, it's just you have to wonder these questions, including should like Jonathan, should like Kitchen. Obviously, he missed part of the season, but Joe Benny was there. I remember when Joe Benny came in last year, we were all hyped as fuck when he was coming. You know, we were in where were we? We were in Houston, right? No, Dallas. We were in Dallas when he saw that he was in the starting lineup. We were all fucking pumped, excited, like, hey, he's gonna do this, he's do that. And look, I think that game against LAFC, I think he was fine. I think this game against Houston, I thought he was fine. Now, sure, you can make a case that maybe he shouldn't have fouled or he did, but those type of fouls in that situation, fine, I'll take it. That's why I have a goalkeeper back there to block that shit, right? Unless it's an amazing goal. Yeah, right. Unless it's an amazing free kick, then fuck it. What can he do about it, right? But apart from that, fine. You know what? Even toss that in there. That is how we got our goal from the CDM. So, you know what, Rudy, that just adds to your case, even though we say, yeah, you know what, that's on Bingham. But yeah, you know what, that rooted the problem, I guess. It was that foul. And it's from those guys that are playing that CDM role.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you know, and I'm playing devil advocate. Some of these thoughts are not necessarily what I believe in. I just kind of want to get this conversation going, right? But I'll go back to the first game against Portland, right? That was one game where I noted the CDMs or the central midfielders were right next to our center backs.
You know, right? what it could be too. My bad, Rudy.
No, go for it.
We don't have a creative midfielder.
We don't.
So when we're losing the ball, because we have no one that could distribute the ball in a less dangerous position. So higher up the field, you know, taking that risk. Like with Fabio, maybe he didn't connect all his passes, but motherfucker was always trying to go forward. You know. So
we're not actually Fabio. Just really quick to lose. I just think he was too good for the rest of the team because when Pavon came, him and Pavon were connected in a whole different level than it just the moment Pavon came in, Fabio's level just boom. Yep. You know, so you can only do what you can with the people around you.
And I would take Fabio for 60 minutes right now over anybody we have in the midfield, right?
Yeah, we don't have a Cam. We don't have a real Cam.
That was our problem, right? Like it was the fact that he couldn't compete for 90 minutes, right? Like we knew a 65th minute, like he had to be out because he had no legs.
So yeah, it could be that. It could be that, and then also, like I hate to say it because it sounds like a broken record, but dog, we're the fucking slowest team in the league. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, bro. I seen most of the games up until the last game I saw was when Galaxy Houston played because that's when I lost interest in the tournament.
Oh yeah, that shit was slow as fuck too.
Dog, but fuck, bro. Everybody's midfield has some pace in it, bro. No, some slow ass motherfuckers.
But I listen. If you put Pavon through on a ball, my man got speed, right? My man got speed.
I'm talking about midfield
alone. Hold on, but I think where it stems from is our super slow build up, right? Like we build up so slow that by the time we want to create anything, the other team is already positioned correctly. If you see almost any other MLS team, they hit you when you're not, you know, when your team doesn't have the right shape. I mean, look at the goals that LAFC scored on us. Almost all those goals, with the exception of the penalty, like your team had lost shape and they took advantage of that. We can't do that because we build out so slow that by the time we're trying to create something, the team is already standing with the two lines of four or whatever the formation is, right? Like they're already there. Like so the spacing is not there to exploit that. Even with like if it's only Pavon, right? Like there's not there. Listen. What I was trying to get, go for it.
But even then, if we did have speed, like say the speed comes to the wings, you know, you brought up the point of there's no like a Fabio type person. So if we are fast, what's the fucking point? There's no one there to distribute the ball. There's no number 10. That's one of the reasons I defend people like Kitchen because they're there to destroy. But when they turn around and look for that option, who the fuck is there? Nobody. Well, listen, if we're fast. There's nobody to play that ball fast for him.
You got pass back fucking legit, right? Like that's all I gotta say. Like he was playing Cam most of this tournament, or he was playing like an attack in the attacking front, and my guy is so scared to turn around and go at a defense. Like, you know, what I mean, I think what I was trying to get at by having this conversation is the fact that like from top to bottom, like from striker without Chicharito, and Chicharito's unproven right now for us, right? He's proven in his career, but for us, he's unproven. So from top to bottom, from striker to our keeper, there's hard is, you know, you're hard pressed to save somebody, right? Like right now, if you're saving Kitchen because he's probably better than the rest of the people we have. but not necessarily because you enjoy him, right?
Well, and you're also saving Kitchen because you're taking that gamble, the one that Eddie just said, because Eddie's going off of a gamble here. He's assuming that he's going to be better with the cam. We don't know that until we get the actual cam to play that position.
Exactly. Like
right?
Other than Pavon, is there a player you guys are like 100% in? Like, yep, that guy right there. Like, I'm in 100%. Like, he's the guy for us. And we can include Chilito. We can include John on this, right? Like, other than Pavon.
No, it's just Pavon. To me, it's just Pavon right now.
Just Pavon.
It's just Pavon. And that even includes the Puy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing on him, but that's just where my expectations should be for this fucking team.
Yeah, no, of course. And that, and listen, that's the expectation should be there, right? Because that's what the Galaxy has been for 20 odd years, right? I know there's been a fall off since like 2016 season, but like the expectation should not change because we're in a slump. Like, the expectation should be the same, and these guys are not cutting it at all. And that's my biggest takeaway from this tournament is the fact that we're exposed from top to bottom. There's nobody in this team other than Pavon that's proven that like we should be riding with them right now. There's nobody there, man. There's nobody in the bench. Again, Dunbar was a bright spot, but Dunbar is so unproven.
Yeah.
And we've seen
and
it.
He's young though. He's really young.
You know, do you guys remember Bowen? Tristan Bowen.
Tristan Bowen?
You guys remember him? Like, yo, he came in. He was the youngest player in MLS to sign for first team. Post Nobody wants to talk about him anymore. No, he was before McBean. Point is,
right, but wasn't McBean the youngest ever?
Oh, so he was one of the first ones.
Time he wasn't.
Yeah. Like there, so he was the first one when he was there, right? And he had a great start, and then just kind of fizzled out. And we've seen this over and over again with different players that come up young, that look good, and then it kind of fizzle out, right? Like,
yeah,
so I can't.
Come to mind, like Cardoso was another one. Jimenez was another one for us. You know, that
like,
were in that sense. Which other one? The one that's a model right now. Fuck.
Jordan.
Yeah, Brian Jordan. Like these guys, the first few games that came in out of the spark, they looked like they were the next big thing. And yeah.
So again, right? Like I'm hyped on Dunbar, but I'm not saying like he's no type of answer, right? Like I'm just hyping him, hoping he develops something in the next couple of years. But that's about it. And then it's Pavon, and then everybody else, like I'm not sure of. Again, with Jonah, like I like Jonah a lot. I think when he's on his game, when he's healthy and he's into the team, he commands that midfield. But we haven't seen that consistently, right? Whether it's through injury or just the lack of wanting to be here, or at least what it seemed like to want to be here. The last year when Gio was here, like he hasn't proven to us that he's our captain, our guy who's gonna right our ship, right? Again, Chicharito, he's scored goals everywhere he's gone, but he hasn't scored goals for us. I get it.
And I think too, Chicharito's never been a leader, and people need to stop trying to make this thing seem like if he's the guy for us that's gonna be our leader. Yeah, he's never been a fucking leader, not even in the Mexican national team. You can go back, maybe if he's wearing the Captain Ironman, maybe. But listen, they've had fucking players from like fucking Torrado to Marquez to fucking Cuauhtemoc, as far back as Cuauhtemoc, right? If you think about those are captains. Guardado currently, right, or at least in some of the more recent iterations,
they're on the character.
Yeah, and those have been their captains for the Mexican national team. Chichito has never really been the captain there. Like he's never even sure he's been one of the leaders, you can say, but he can't do that shit alone. He needs the actual leaders, the actual captains in that team, the people that are really driving that squad, right? And that's just the Mexican national team alone. We're not even talking about everywhere else. What I've been saying for the longest,
Well, all being said, like I think there's a lack of quality.
Yeah, for sure.
But how much weight does this also fall on GPS for you guys?
I'm gonna revert back to I think what did I say? I forgot. Did we talk about this last week? I forget.
Yeah.
But he needs his transfer window to make things right. All right. We talked about last year. Rudy, the one thing I will give you 100% is that he was handicapped with the whole Zlatan situation. He had to put a band-aid of a squad together to try and get Zlatan an MLS Cup championship. We got Polenta on some crazy ass fucking loan, right? My man was taming horses, and he's fucking here. Where everyone's fucking missing Fabio right now. We're missing Antuna right now. Those are
said that shit though.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that, and I'm not, and I'm agreeing with you, 100% all the things you said. Those are 4 players right there that we just mentioned, 3-4 players that are all starters in this fucking team, right? Yeah. And that was even before Pavon came in. We were still finding a way to maintain and ride the ship. Right, win some games, lose some, tie some, whatever. It wasn't look pretty. We obviously had Zlatan. I get that, but he did he made some things there happen, right? And sure, we can talk about people. Look, to this day, I still don't think the people was a GBS thing. I don't think he's the type of player that he'd bring. To me, I just think that the people thing, it sounds like something that may have already been in the works or some type of conversation, because it's just, to me, doesn't make sense for being a GBS move. But you know what? We'll even toss that into the mix, right?
Didn't he play for GBS?
Played with
Where
them, right? Columbus.
Or he
people
played with GBS?
maybe played with,
Yeah. I
but I
think that's where
don't.
that's from.
Maybe, and maybe, maybe it was something that was presented to him and he said, "Fuck it, let's do it." I know the guy, and this, if that's the case, then that's when he was younger and better, right? Because
Yeah,
obviously his game has gone down drastically, right?
that's a big one. I don't
Right.
think I think it might have been GPS guy, but I don't think he was expecting
He
the
probably
people that
remembers
he
him
got.
different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but even then, let's just say that, right? Out of the 5 that he brought in, 4 were good. Obviously, Antuna, we know where his issues were, but he was serviceable, right? He was fine. But at least the 2 players there that really stood out to me was the Diego Polenta, which I think is really missing right now in that back line, that type of player, and then that number 10. Because even then, listen, we've mentioned this in this pod before, Leggett in that true center midfield role where you're not having time hit B cam or BCDM, just do your shit in the CM. He's fine. Like he's good. He's fine. But we're asking him to play cam. We don't have that, right? And just because of that alone, based on what I know from last year, from what GBS was able to bring in, and this is how we don't even talk about Pavon, who came in halfway through the season, right? He was able to figure that shit out with Boca somehow. I'm gonna wait until this until this season blows over, until the transfer window starts, and we see what moves he's able to do. And even then, maybe I still give him one more year because of the whole COVID situation. And yeah, it sounds like we gotta be patient, but he's done something to put a band-aid together in a shit team to at least get us to playoffs. And on top of that, we got a playoff win. Something we haven't done in a long ass fucking time.
So just thinking just on 2020, what we've seen so far, and I'll propose this for both Masa and Eddie. Do you guys think because I think he recognizes that he doesn't have the quality for it. Do you think he should change his tactics, his approach to the game to kind of try to do something else with the talent that he has or the lack of talent that he has?
No. I think at this point you play what you know, what he wants to build, right? You're not gonna change that up because when you bring in the players that are coming in, he's gonna revert back to that if he changes it. So why the fuck change it? Get these guys trying to play the game that he wants to play. So when he brings in the people, just to plug them into the system that the other players already know. So if you go, let's say he changes to 4-4-2, and then he brings out the players that he wants for this formation, that 4-3-3, then you're gonna have to not necessarily relearn the system, but you're gonna have to go back to practicing a new style or back to practicing your old style. So why change it? Like you're already trash. You're gonna be trash in a 4-3-3. You're gonna be
Right.
trash in a 4-4-2.
Facts.
You don't have the quality. Stick to what you know. Keep doing what you're doing, and when you bring in the players, you plug it in.
What I said last
That
week,
simple.
San Jose is the biggest example. Almeida, they just won again today, 5-2. They beat the shit out of Real Salt Lake. And beginning to end, they looked like the better team, right? And this goes, I bring that up because I hate the shit out of them. And this really bugs me, the fact that they're actually good and we suck, right?
Don't go into that rant again. Don't go into that rant
I know.
again. Don't go into
But
that rant again.
for a quarter last year, the first quarter of the season, they were getting fucking stomped by everyone. And then when this team actually started playing the style he wanted, he was able to get some players. He's because he kept and he stuck to his style. Eventually, the right pieces and the players got it. And look at them now; they're fucking fluid. They play really well, and it's annoying. That shit pisses me off to see that they're actually doing this shit.
All right,
Like,
Eddie.
fuck.
Eddie, hot seat for you, all right?
Give me a second, guys.
Do we stick it out with GBS? Do we let him go? Why or why not?
I don't think we have a choice, and I'm gonna just touch on the 2 things that Angel and Masa said. So we don't have a choice because we're like this the poster child of the league, right? And then you really want to keep changing coaches after coaches. What would it be like 5 coaches in 5 years or something like that if we change them?
Close to that, yeah.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say I think there's butting heads with the front office. I don't even think Chicha's his guy, right? Does he mind having Chicha? Probably not. But do I think GBS went and like get me that guy? I don't think he wanted Chicha. So that's something that fell on his lap. And with all those pieces that he lost, plus Lucien Katai, bro, he has a philosophy and he doesn't have the players that can adopt this philosophy. And it's gonna take time, bro, until you see him get to replace all those pieces that he lost and see the consistency, which is what we're missing
Yeah.
in the offensive end, run for at least half a season and make sure they come back next season. And GBS, it's hard to put him in the hot seat, but at the same time, I think he's kind of close because I also believe that he doesn't understand the league and salary cap as well.
But that isn't
That's
his
not
job, right?
Yeah,
That's
no,
not
it's not.
his job.
It's not. But he's learning. You know, if he doesn't learn it quick, then he's never gonna learn it, right?
Well-
He was in a league in a country where you could pick up a kid off the street and he's better than your average MLS player. You know, so it's a tough learning curve for him, I'm sure.
You're not wrong on that. You're not wrong on that at all. So I we'll wait for we'll loop Angel in when he comes back. But right now, and this is questions that we've seen come in today. We can't. There's no way we can pick up 11 players, like 10 players, 7 players on the transfers window, right? There's no way we can do that.
So that's why
Actually,
you-
so
that's why-
Angel's here. Hold on. So let me pose the question, then we can ask this question. So Angel, I was saying like, there's no way we could pick up 10, 11, 7 players in a transfer window, right? So right now, shout out to Galaxy Fan Talk. One of the questions says secondary transfer window begins August 12th. Who's a realistic option for the club outside of Franco? He said, I'm dying for a playmaker in the middle to accompany Kichan and Chicharito. Your thoughts on that? Like, transfer window opens to August 12th. We can't bring in a full squad because that's, we don't have the cap for that. I don't think we can manage to get rid of so many players and bring in so many players. I don't even know if I want that to happen. But right now, August 12th is the day where it opens up. What are some of the moves that you guys want to see? It could be names, it could be positions. It could just, let's have the conversation.
True number 10. That's all.
Even more so fixing our other woes.
I mean, if I had to pick one, you said no, we can't do 11. I'm just gonna stick with
Yeah,
one.
There's one.
I could, this podcast could go on for hours if everybody's gonna pick this team. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go number one priority besides a keeper, which I think you'll find within the league, but we're talking about, transfer. It's a true number 10.
Angel Massa, what are your thoughts?
Or you just pick one position or what?
You can pick one or two. Like, don't, again, with the premise that we can't pick up an abundance of players in this transfer window. Just, what?
Well,
are
I mean, I think we
your
can
points?
just because we're so short in many positions.
And I think we can because it's a summer transfer window, and a lot of clubs already ended.
But
So
we
I
also,
think right now would be the best time to do it.
but we don't have the money for that, right?
Why not?
Why not?
What do you mean?
Katai's gone.
Yeah, okay. Katai is gone. So we bring it like for like. That's a 10 player. And then I think it's like 125, 150 more that we have in the bank. So I don't think we have the cap for all that. Right. And I also don't think that we'll see the fire sale that we wish it could happen. I don't think we see a fire sale where we release 6, 7 players or get trade them or make different acquisitions to get rid of some of these players, right? And not just being realistic. So what I'm trying to get is like, give me 2, 3 positions that you think we need to go after. They could be names attached to them. They could not be names attached to them. Just, what are you guys thinking for this?
Simple. CB, Cam, and a winger.
Yeah, I think Massa hit it right there. Those are the 3 spots that we really need to fill.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And for me, I think it's the center back position most of all. Somebody to accompany Dupuy. Somebody who's a real leader in the back that can kind of like really write that shit, man. I've been through this before. I've been through this before with the Galaxy. When we had shit years, and then one center back kind of changes a lot of things, right? It's a broken record because I say Berhalter all the time in this podcast. But what that guy did, I need something like that. Somebody who's gonna whip both Rolf and Insua, even though these guys are older and not like the young kids that Berhalter had, but somebody who has enough presence and character, and also I think maybe even experience that these guys are gonna be like okay with that. What do you guys think about that?
But that's why I think it's realistic. And you say that we may not see an exodus of players, maybe not a fucking like you said, 8, 9, 10 players. But I think it makes sense right now to try and make a trade with someone. Maybe a proven center back in the league with maybe he can only give us 2 years, right? But a proven center back, and we make some type of trade for Steris. That makes sense, right?
It
Obviously,
does.
I don't think people was. I mean, I don't know what his contract situation is, but I think that one just because of everything around, given the international spot and everything, I just think it makes more sense to try and trade Steris, tradable
Well,
asset,
listen,
right?
the only reason I say I don't see the exodus happening, I don't see like the mass release of players is because we don't usually see that in midseason, right? And this is the midseason, the midseason transfer window for us,
I
right?
think the
We
one
don't
player
see
we
that.
could do
See, but
that is
We
legit.
and it's not so like it's not something common across the league to see that happen, and that's why I don't think it's gonna happen. Now, do I wish it happens? Can it happen? Maybe, but that's the only reason why I put that premise of like let's not go there because I don't see it happening. But again, if you guys think different,
well,
speak on it.
well, if you're asking my opinion, right? Then
Yeah,
how
speak on it.
what I think should happen? That should happen, and the legit should happen, because even then, right now, I think his role is redundant. Because if he's not going to play Cam, which obviously he can, and we need a Cam when Jonathan comes
With
back,
Sasha in there.
well, huh?
With Sasha
I
in there.
mean,
I rather
sure, he could, I guess, but that's why he's a bench player. He's rotational. Legit's here, and he's supposed to be a starter, right?
the,
So
I guess what I was trying to say is like if we throw legit or Sasha there like for this year for this season, right? Because Sasha he cannot have a long term contract. It's probably a season long
right.
contract, right? So if we need to get out, we need to get rid of legit, and there's like we need to get legit, and we can't make a move right now for somebody better in the camp position. I think
Well,
it'd
fine.
be
No, I
redundant.
know that's I get what you're saying. In a band-aid situation, yes, we can definitely make that happen. But I'm saying is Legit's role is somewhat redundant when you think about it, because JDS can play in that similar type of just true CM role. Joe Benny Corona can, and Kitchen, if even if you keep him a CDM, where does Legit fit in there? So
Mhm.
he's obviously quote unquote the better player, right, of those guys in that role, apart from Jonathan. But if you have other guys that are going to be perhaps as serviceable, I mean, shit, I honestly think Joe Benny probably was better than him in this tournament. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I just think we just expect too much from Legit, right? And he can't
He
produce.
can't
He
deliver.
can't he
Yeah,
can't deliver. Yeah,
he can't.
our
He doesn't
expectations
have
are
the
high for him, and
mindset.
exactly.
The
So
best
to
thing,
me, go ahead.
Go for Eddie.
oh sorry, the best thing Legit can do for us is just leave, get traded. He's the best. Oh, it's funny,
And for
bro.
himself, I think.
He's for himself too. He's the best trade asset we have. You know,
Right.
he dates a B star, B list celebrity, so he has like
Damn.
that pop culture connection. Yeah, come on, fool, you heard her music, uh, and yeah, his value is not completely down. To some teams he might be salvageable. So
Yeah.
he's the number.
Especially to a new team coming into the league.
That should-
Listen, Miami might be salivating over the opportunity of having Legit in their squad. I mean,
So-
maybe, you know what, even Nashville, I imagine, right? So that to me makes sense, right? And these are those two guys specific too, because they've also been here the longest. They're quote unquote veterans, and again, alludes to that thing that I've heard on this podcast on NAG. I've heard, I don't know, I think maybe on LA's Our House. These guys don't know how to win, and they're not winners, and that's a fact. If you're the veterans you're looking up to, don't know how to fucking win, then why are they there? If they're not winning now, what makes you think they're gonna win in the future, right? They don't have the mentality, right? And on
Let-
top of that, they're tradable assets. It makes sense. Do something there where we can make some trades, right? That would be two possibilities there, and then the third, obviously, that winger, which we technically have the money there because of what we had from Qatar.
So let me follow up that question proposed by Galaxy Fan Talk with a reply by Elias P and a shit ton of numbers afterwards. I'm not gonna read them all. He says, or she says, I'm not sure. Realistically speaking, do we simply overpay a lot of our players, or do we have enough money? Right, we just talked about this. Or do we have enough money to get spots in? Do we have money and spots to get a few solid players? I see other teams able to get starting squad and still have a decent depth. What's our deal? And that's interesting, right? Because we had a few weeks ago, we had an episode when we talked about our depth, and I think we felt better than we do now about some of our depth. Now, that the question is the money. I know we have some money because of Katai, and that's an international spot with Katai too. And we had money even before that we had money. But how many international spots do we have? And are we looking international? Is that what we should be looking at?
Yes.
And the last thing I'll say is, are we looking for this year, next year, like we have been recently, or are we looking to build something that's going to be more long term, so like a younger player, even if he's not proven? And go.
as far as
Because
I'm thinking.
my mind goes all over
Yeah.
the place, right? Because there's multiple things that we can do. Why not do things a bit different? there's a few things, right? One person comes to mind, fuck it, go get Jovinko, right? We know what he can do in the MLS. He's familiar with the MLS. We need a number 10. He can play in that role, and he's legit as fuck. He's already been a champion with Toronto. He has what it takes. He already made a shit ton of fucking money in Qatar or wherever the fuck he is. Brainwash him, bust a fucking Bruce Arena somehow, and just tell him, hey, we're gonna do this for you in the future. I don't know. Think of something, or go to our also proven players in within the MLS. Listen, fucking PT Martinez is not doing all that great with Atlanta, but they're having their own issues. Fucking, if you're GPS, go brainwash them. Hey, remember how you fucked me in Copa Libertadores? Come this time, come do it with me. They just think of things, right? Sebastian Blanco, I've been talking to him for the longest. It sounds like a broken record, but look at what he does to every fucking team they plays. It doesn't matter who's against them. He still fucking does it. Why not do what the fucking teams in Europe do and does, right? They go and look at Bayern Munich. Every single time that one of the other teams has a good play, they go pick him up.
Man,
And
but
then
see,
he's at Bayern, and that's why they win all the time.
I think that's really hard to do in MLS though, right? I think that's the problem, especially because we are the LA Galaxy, and we've seen this happen before. Like players that we try to acquire within the league, their prices just fucking skyrocket when we say, "Hey, this guy's kind of interesting," right? Like we've seen this happen over and over and over and over again. Like what we pay. I mean, even when we I forgot what
Ola
the
Kamara?
last was Ola Kamara that we had to pay.
Kamara, we got
that we had to pay.
that Jossie switch, yeah.
Yeah, but like it seems like we overpaid. Like so,
But did
I
we
think
though?
you're right.
Did we listen?
Listen.
We did for what we got Ola Kamara and how we were, and those are the type of trades that I'm talking about right there. It's that's the example that I'm trying to give. I had forgotten about exactly how we got him. We traded Jossie, and good thing. Look, Jossie has rejuvenated his career in Columbus.
Yeah,
looking good.
Legit, you can brainwash the Jet. Look at what Jossie did. Do that to Steris. Look at what Jossie did. You know what Hector Jimenez. Look at what Hector Jimenez did. Go rejuvenate your career.
The starter, bro.
Go rejuvenate your career. You need a scene change after being here 6-7 years. I don't know, just fucking give him some bullshit and make those type of trades. That's what I'm talking about. Even if we have to give a bit, but we're trying to win. We're trying to win championships. Right. That's what we do. The big clubs, they pay more because they understand that these clubs are not going to give us. Obviously, we know we have some limitations. So you have to work with what you are able to do. So that's why you try to give them the a tradable asset and the Jet and Steris and some money. Obviously, I don't know what the money would be, but it's like we're giving them, hey, $2 million for, I don't know, any fucking center back in the league, really.
All right, and then I guess one of the last questions I asked and then I get a response from you is and I'll shoot this over to Eddie. What do you think? Are we should we go after something that's going to be an immediate result for this season, next season maybe, or something that's a little long term that we can build upon?
It's gonna have to be long term because if you say, but no, I think you're right where we can't move 11 pieces, so you have to start just getting your pieces together. So you start looking long term now. You bring in a guy that's going to learn the system and fit in, and then you start building around him. Because I don't think that guy is there. I don't think Chicha's that guy either. Chicha's just going to be there to tap the ball into the net to the open goal. So yeah, it's got to be long term.
Yeah.
Chicha in 4 years, right? So you could even with the thought of Chicha, if that is going to be our go-to striker, our guy for the next 4 years, we could build a team for the next 4 years with that in mind.
Yeah.
I agree. Masa, you're big on you pay attention to more of the international scene. This week we had talks.
Formula One, maybe. That's probably pretty much it. The fuck, ask him what's going on right now everywhere else. He probably has no idea.
This week they had rumors with Galaxy being linked with Boca Juniors attacker via what's his name?
Sebastian.
Yeah.
Sebastian, yeah. Tell me, talk to me about him. Like, is that like the type of move that we need? Is that something that's gonna?
It is a winger. It is the winger that we're missing. But the thing is the money. To me, the money is gonna be an issue. But going back to this pandemic, bro, everyone's hurting, especially in Argentina.
Argentina is hurting.
The money and soccer's always been an issue. They're always in a crisis. That's why a lot of players. That's why I'm thinking you could get a lot of players over there. Tap into that GBS pool, bro. Like he knows what's. I'm sure he still has connects out there, and you could find players for cheap, not just from Boca, everywhere, bro.
And what's the deal with Villa though? Just specifically with Villa, like is he?
He's a starter.
He's a starter. So like
he's a starter at Boca, or at least for this year, he's been playing like a lot of games. Was playing a lot of games this year.
Was there
Well,
any overlap? Was there ever any overlap between him and Pavon?
Nah, they play. What do you mean overlap?
Like, so would they play in the same team together? Like,
Yeah,
at the
they
same time?
would. They'd be on opposite sides. So this I do remember. Villa would usually play on, I think, as the right side, and then Pavon would be on the left side.
So there'd
So
be
that's
some chemistry there, right?
exactly. So they understand how that would go down, and obviously he knows how to play GPS style.
Any of you guys remember him? Like, you guys seen him play? I'm sure you guys seen him play in passing, but you guys remember him at all? Like, anything stick out about Villa?
pace, bro. Pace.
Pace?
Fast as fuck. And he's very skillful too. Like, I mean, think I don't want to say he's on par with Pavon, I think, but I think quality, like, I think he has just as much quality as Pavon.
I think he's a little more physical than Pavon too, though.
Yeah.
The way I recall him, I remember being a little bit more built. But we've seen Pavon; he can take the hits.
Yeah.
And shit,
And
Villa
keep going.
actually, he from what I recall, he likes to go in hard too. So I'm about that life. Fuck yeah.
Interesting. All right, and then I'm gonna mention one more thing I saw on some of the replies from our question on Twitter. Ventura Alvarado, like, he's the
Ventura
name
Alvarado?
that rang in a couple of mentions. What's your thoughts on him?
Well, he went from America to Necaxa, right? And then he's just kind of been.
Well, to be
Whatever.
fair though, he captained Necaxa after he left. Like, I don't know what it was, but he kind of rejuvenated his career in Necaxa. Shit, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him though, because he'll have his good games and he'll have his bad games. I still think he would be a better option to what we have now. And he is American born. He was
Mhm.
born in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. So no
Um,
international slot.
so I mean, that could be a move too. That could be an interesting move.
And I'm sure
That
DTK has
perspective, I
some
think
kind
it
of
makes sense. Now, I think it makes sense. But listen, I have my concerns with him because I just
He's from
even
America.
when he turned Necaxa, in Necaxa, they were decent, but then they seem to have gone down a bit. I don't even know where he's at. Is he still even at Necaxa? I don't even know if he's still there.
No idea.
Who the fuck is he at now?
I haven't kept
I'll
it
look
up.
it up. I'll look it up.
I haven't
Yeah,
kept
like
shit.
and when he started with America, he did okay at first, but then his game just went down. And he got who took his starting spot? Was it Aguilar? Paul Aguilar was it?
Yeah, but I mean, the talent
They
at
brought-
America
Well,
in
yeah, I
that
know. So just
position is
fuck.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, shit, even in their attack, but maybe. I mean, it makes sense, right? I think it makes sense. I just don't know. I've never really been a big fan of his in
But I
general.
mean, at that point, if we're picking him up, you gotta let go of Steres.
All right.
Straight up.
Listen, this all again. Of course, it drags on. We've been here for 2 hours, so let me close out with a tweet that Manny sent over. It says, "Champion mentality is missing from our team. From our current squad, who has won cups with their ex clubs, excluding Pavon, Corona, and GPS. I think we need more championship pedigree in our squad because Klein Press may not be enforcing that we are the biggest club in MLS." Yeah, I think we said this before, right? Like, these guys are not winners. Like, they don't have winner
I mean-
mentality.
He's still in Necaxa. Update real quick.
Oh, he's still in Necaxa? Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll make an effort to watch them a little bit more often. Damn, bro, it's hard to say because you can, even if you think about our era, right, when we had the champions, where we had that dynasty, we had Beckham. He knew how to win. Donovan had gone years without winning, so you can make a case that he probably couldn't even win either, right? Robbie Keane was, he was a team hopper, right? So I don't even know how many.
Technically, Robbie Keane wasn't a winner because he didn't win shit at Tottenham and he didn't win.
Yeah,
shit
there
at
you go. And that's what I was
Liverpool.
about to ask. I don't even know if he won anything. If we talk about that back line that we had in Franklin, and I think when in the early years we had Hayduk still at one point, then we had obviously Broharter, and then we had the other guys come in, Omar and
AJ.
Now to Omar and AJ's credit, they won like 3 fucking
Back-to-back.
NCAA championships or 2, something like that, right?
Back-to-back
So they had some winning mentality, right? But even then, what I'm getting at is when these guys came in, it's like we had only won 2 championships at that time.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, you can
it was a
talk-
bad time. It was a bad time.
Yeah,
for us.
and we can even talk about Juninho and Sarvas. Juninho, we got him on loan from, was it Santos? Was it
No,
Sao
no.
Paulo.
Sao Paulo? Yeah, Sao Paulo. And we got him as a youngling, so he probably wasn't even a starter there. Or probably
He didn't even see
Yeah,
any
he probably
time,
didn't
bro.
see any real time. So
When we bought
Juninho,
Juninho, Sao Paulo took the money and laughed about it. They're like, "Damn, these fools just bought nobody."
yeah, and
It worked for
obviously
us.
he became someone.
It worked for us.
Marcelo Sarvas probably. I know we
Marcelo
got him over at
Sarvas,
La Pense, but
He was a winner.
yeah,
in Costa
over
Rica.
in Costa Rica. and I don't even know where he came before that. So I mean, there's all these players that come to my mind that I mean, were they really winners? You know, it's
Before it?
uh,
I mean,
yeah, before that, you know, it they became winners here, but you had the mentality in a Bruce Arena, right? That he could do that, and GBS has that mentality. He could do that, right? And if we're gonna talk about star power, I mean, Zlatan won just about everything except for Champions League everywhere. I mean, he's just won just about everything except for Champions League. Beckham had won everything. So if you talk about comparisons, there's there Pavon, Landon Donovan, you know, if you want to bring that up, right? So perhaps, sure, I'm sure you can make that you can make that case. I mean, even Chicharito has won some shit. He's won Gold Cups. He's fucking won with Madrid. I mean, he's
Yep.
won with United.
Yep.
So some of these guys know how to win. I don't know if that really going to translate. Hey, because you won before, you're going to win again.
I think
It's
I
about the
think it does.
mentality.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna get at. And then you kept bringing up Bruce, and I think it goes even deeper than that. You look at the front office now; it's Chris Klein and what's his name, Dan Beckerman, whatever
Yeah.
his name.
Yeah, Dan Beckerman.
Before you had
Tim
Bruce
Lightwick,
and Tim Lightwick. Tim Lightwick was a fucking stud. Look what he did. He went to Toronto,
Toronto.
and he put together a winning team over there too. Now instead we're worried about jersey sales and shit. Like an example I'll give you was when Klein jumped into the front office. One of the first people he brought on was Gio, and I don't know if you guys ever heard. Fucking Bruce didn't want Gio.
Yeah, he didn't want
He said he's not a winner. He used that word. He's not a winner, and that just we need players with winning mentality. And I think it starts with the front office. You know, if your coach tells you like, "Hey, yeah, Chicha's cool and all, but you know, I don't think he's the guy that's gonna come help us win titles." And if they don't listen, what can the coach do? So I think it's deeper than that. It's the winning mentality starts on the top, and I think that's where we're failing big time.
But perhaps, right, and that could be a great case. And this is why I've been saying, if people are like, oh, GPS out, DTK out, well, this is technically fine. Post Zlatan era is GPS first year to try and really make his team.
Yep.
Right. And obviously we had this whole COVID situation. People want to talk about DTK. Listen, DTK's job is not just the main squad. His job is also being general manager of all operations. Have you not? Galaxy 2 have only lost one game so far, and
Bro,
they're
I
not
watched
looking
the game.
terrible.
Yeah, I watched the game this weekend too. This is exactly what DTK does. There was, I think, two 16-year-olds starting and a 17-year-old kid
Mhm.
starting on G2s. You're talking about kids playing against adults.
Yeah.
So that's part of his job too. You want to kick this guy out, and then you're gonna have a bunch of old ass motherfuckers like Zubac playing G2.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
Is pointless.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
That and then
we'll make this decision. Can cut it. We'll
right, and then to the argument of Chris Klein. Listen, at this point, Chris Klein, he said, "Yo, DTK, GPS, you guys run this shit. You guys figure this shit out." I mean, he washed his hands clean at this point. I'm sure there's obviously some other things that he might be involved in, right? But decision making, this is all GPS and DTK. And again, the biggest example I'm going to give you guys is last year when we were able to put a playoff team that actually won a playoff game with a lot of handicaps and minus a DP, right? The entire year for the majority of the year without Alessandrini. Listen, if that doesn't speak volumes, then what are you guys? You guys are the type of people to be stuck on David Bingham, thinking that he's great. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, stuck on David Bingham and then hate on Antonation Bergation.
Nation's whack too. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap the show up, but I wanna before we do, again, thank Eddie for joining us. I appreciate it. I know we ran late, probably past the bedtime or something. But again, thank you so much for hopping on. Please let our audience know where they can find you and everything you're involved in.
Damn, everything. News across the galaxy, Layman's Word, Playtime. Look all those up. Borrachos X. Borrachex, as you say. Yeah, but no, happy to be here. Thanks for helping me open up old wounds. I just went through this yesterday.
Yeah, it was fresh.
I know why though. You should actually no. You're right. You should be pissed because Galaxy she got 1 point and we called 0. Fuckers. How dare they do that?
And with that being said, is another episode of Straight from the Stands. I'm Rudy at I'm Smarts on Twitch. I'm Smarts on Instagram. I'm Smarts on Twitter.
This is Angel. Follow me on Twitter at LiveItAF96, on Instagram at ADF3691, and then don't forget to follow George, guys. J Undefeated 7 everywhere.
Hit him with your handle, Eddie, before we head
out. J Undefeated 7. You can Instagram Eddie_Nags, Twitter Eddie Nags all together.
Let's go.
Peace, love, and Jesus up, baby.
Peace, y'all. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us.
A la verga, somos una bola de majes aquí.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh my God.
Good shit, boys. Hey,